It's going down like this, motherfucker.
This shit is crazy. The following
Nigga get mad. Say, motherfucker, what you mean you ain't gonna let me in this funky joint? Much money I done spent in here, nigga. I knew your mama when she was horn. Hump, baby. Shit, bet I do it over time. Say that, nigga. Shit. Bar, back the bar, off time. Shit, boy, I'm trying to make me some money. Boy, I'm hungry as a hog need. Slap Jesus. Shit, gotta be a Jesus, cause too many black folks.
My bitches. You saying you can't control your bitches? What?
So what you saying?
What you saying is you fuck.
Man, what you saying, you need to get the fuck out of my business, nigga.
Hey,
man. That's what you need to do. Cause I'm getting tired you keep telling what the fuck I'm doing every time I'm doing something. Cause I'm not finna fake for these peckerwoods. Get out of my business. Okay. So
limousine, and every time I'm seen, I got to be clean.
For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite together among ourselves, among our own kind, clean ourselves up, rid ourselves of the evils that we've become addicted to here in this society, and try and...
Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man. Yes, he destroy black boys. Yes, he destroy black boys. Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man.
This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying. This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying.
Yeah, well. Gotta get a piece of my.
You hear what I said?
Yes, bitch, I heard you. I'm pretending like I didn't.
Hey, where are the white women at?
Say anyway, but I will. The way quantum entanglement works is that you can take two particles, quantum entangle them, and then take those two particles and move them at any distance in the cosmos. And let's just say, for example, if you quantum entangle two electrons and you have them spinning in the same direction, and then you take one of those electrons and you shoot that thing out 100,000 light years from the original. If you then rotate the spin on the one electron, if you modify it so that its spin changes, the quantum entangled electron at any distance will simultaneously, in no time, switch its rotation also because they're quantum entangled. So these communication systems are taking advantage of this aspect of quantum mechanics that most people can't wrap their heads around, and this is what they're utilizing. It's just the new level of science that affords us the ability to communicate at any distance instantaneously.
Joe V, he looked down, seen his feet, the nigga went berserk, killed the monkey, threw the bat out the window, start kicking that bitch in the air.
Group of you together, you never can tell who's who. I've seen a lot of black guys, Nipsey, but you're overdoing it.
Plus, I'm in love with a bitch I can't stand.
I mean, TikTok. A lot of the white content creators on TikTok get all of their dances from the black content creators.
First you tell us that it is manly to keep your word. All right? If you are a man, you keep your word. And now all that the black people in this country are demanding, and even the black people in the whole world are demanding, is that you keep your word. You told us we were free. Well then, show us that we're free. You told us that there is justice, equality for all in this country. Well then, stick to your word and let us see the justice and equality for all. Or else admit to us that you're not a man, you're a worm, you're afraid of us, you're afraid to give us equal stand. You're afraid that if you give us equal ground that we will match you and we will override you. And if that's what you're afraid of us, then tell us that just what you're afraid of. But don't keep hiding it from us and holding this up to us, and every time we ask you for something, you give us a little bit of something, and it's all tokenism. We don't want tokenism. And there are most black men in this world that don't want charity. And yet still every time we ask you for something, you give us a little piece, a little piece. You're playing games with us. We're not children. We're big men. I've seen my father have to put up with all kinds of stuff. He was a big man. He raised a family. He went down south, and he had to go around to the back door with his wife. We're not asking for anything. We're not asking for any favors. All we want is what's ours. Now, there are many black veterans who are coming back, and they're mad. They're angry. Do you think that they're going to sit down through this? Our fathers didn't have the knowledge that we had. They sat through it. But there are other black youth that are not going to sit through it. We know about Che. We know about Fanon. We've read the books of revolution. We've listened to Mao and his quotations. We know where we stand. We're not going to sit for it. We're asking, and if we ask and we don't get, we're prepared to stand up and take it. If I ask a man, I tell a man I am hungry. I tell him I am cold. And I ask him to do something about my condition. And this man holds a loaf of bread right in front of me so I can see it, and I keep asking him, I'm begging him to please give me a slice of the loaf of bread. I am hungry. Then it is known by every psychologist that the next step in the progression is I am going to knock him upside the head and take the bread from him. I'm not going to starve to death.
You're a philosopher? Yes. You're a philosopher? Yeah. You're a philosopher? Yes. I think very deeply.
Dance with me. Oh, yeah. Hey, dance with me.
Physical and mental torture. But that's all right, because we said even before this happened, and we're going to say it after this, and after I'm locked up, and after everybody's locked up, that you can jail revolutionaries, but you can't jail a revolution. Right. You might run a liberator like Eric Cleave out the country, but you can't run liberation out the country. You might murder a freedom fighter like Bobby Hutton, but you can't murder freedom fighting, and if you do, you come up with answers that don't answer, explanations that don't explain. You come up with conclusions that don't conclude. And you come up with people that you thought should be acting like pigs, that's acting like people and moving on pigs, and that's what we've got to do. So we're going to see about Bobby, regardless of what these people think we should do. Because school is not important and work is not important. Nothing's more important than stopping fascism, because fascism will stop us all. The party that they can do anything they want to us. We might not be back. I might be in jail. I might be anywhere. But when I leave, you can remember I said with the last words on my lips that I am a revolutionary. And you're going to have to keep on saying that. You're going to have to say that I am a proletarian. I am the people. I'm not the pig. You've got to make a distinction. And the people are going to have to attack the pigs. The people are going to have to stand up against the pigs. That's what the pastors are doing. That's what the pastors are doing all over the world.
Damn white boys out there. Most of them is psychopaths and all that. They'll kill your mama's mama. And you...
Decent white folk that still don't know they're racist.
What the hell you want here, hunky?
You got to pray to God and tell God your rent due. Any God that didn't know your rent was due ain't God.
Some people, they feel like you almost have to sell your soul to get fame, or is it just hard work, or is it luck, is it consequence, is it?
No, most of us in sold our soul. We just called it something else.
Hmm.
still open. Oh shit, you can get it, nigga. You wanna get it?
The Chinese platform, you already know they don't give a fuck about your black. The Chinese platform, you already know they don't give a fuck about your black ass.
Come with baggage, just nice, Louis Vuitton.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, that was nice.
I like that.
Bitch niggas, hoe niggas, rich niggas, broke bitch. I told niggas this was on, yeah, right here. Come with baggage.
I think we OD. But my word, can't be my equal, I don't know what you heard.
That's the difference when you're my. Used to snort cocaine, now I fiend for the check, yeah.
Heavy, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I come in. I hit the loot juice, and pulls up in the dude. Heavy, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I come in. I hit the loot juice, and pulls up in the dude. Heavy, I'm a
No idea the condition that we're in, the psychoneurosis that we suffer. We suffer terrible, terrible blight. We don't know who we are. We use European names, and we just are comfortable with our condition. We really don't know who we are. We have no idea. We're captive. And we absolutely comfortable with this situation.
Like I said, you go to the history of European civilizations. 250 years is how long they last before they implode because of their greed, because of their violence, because of an inability to let others be, including themselves. If they didn't have brown and black people to hate, they would hate themselves.
nigga.
Do that dance, baby, do that dance, let's work it out.
Greetings. This is Big Pontiac, and welcome to the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am the holder of the infinite sacred ball game that was created by the Hero Twins, and I am that one and only Galactic Daddy-O, welcoming each and every one of you to my galactic patio that reaches from Minnesota to the universe. Well, that's my cue to say what's happening, to come on in and say, gosh, what are we? Oh, Thursday morning. So I want to say this, though. Friday is going to be the full moon. I don't know if I'm going to do my thing before the Tyson fight or after the Tyson fight. I'm not sure because I don't think I'm going to be home for the Tyson fight. So check late because I might end up doing it late. Once I get home, so it might be late. I'm not sure. The Tyson fight, I think it's 7:30. I think it's early, so I don't know if anybody else is fighting and what how long they gonna talk. But I will be doing the meditation and just the good vibrations of the full moon. Well, Dr. Sinister, thank you for joining.
You can't get too close to Michael; it's a foul.
Jamar 3224, thanks for joining.
You can't get too close to Michael; it's a foul.
Blue Marvel. Hey, I want to hear those stupid Negroes talking about reparations. Or these Negroes are not willing to drop millions and billions if bodies. They need to be silent. That's a good point. I'm at work. I tried to call you earlier, but see that's happening with you. Oh, all right. Yeah. I guess I did see you call and shit. I hadn't. I saw the voicemail. I just be doing shit and don't be out and about and doing shit. But first thing I want to talk about, yeah, I'm gonna bring this up. The first thing I want to talk about, one popular thing, and I hope I can get it to work this time. Let's see. Yes, okay. I want to show this because you got to understand really what people are trying to point out and what they're really showing you, and like where they're coming from. Now, again, this is no direct pointing at any individual. This is more of the group thing. But I've talked about this mud flood thing for many times, and you got niggas now that there's mud flooding their ass off too. But the reality is, all the mud flood is really trying, just like they trying to tell you it was mansions in America already. Now, the East Coast Indians did have houses. Nothing like these brick mansions, nothing like that. We had wood-made huts of wood that had already fallen. That was tradition. Then you make the houses from the fallen wood, not fresh wood. So we did have those kind of houses. But to say there was mansions all over the world, and the stupidest shit I told you before I ever heard was when they said that there was mansions in New York already, but they was covered up and only the Europeans could find them. Only the Neanderthals could find them. Well, that's some bullshit. Well, another thing, and even quantum of science kind of wonders how they make this shit. Well, let me show you. They're rebuilding Notre Dame. You see this? They're rebuilding this shit. All right? Now, when they rebuild this shit ain't nothing
All right.
but
This
lead.
is for all those mud
Ain't
flood
nothing but
people out
lead
there
and
who's
wood.
trying to make the
Stucco,
Neanderthal
lead and wood.
Aryan
So there's nothing
ancient,
advanced
and they're
about
not.
the way they build this shit.
This
lead
is
and wood.
they try
That's
to tell you
all.
that this is some
They trying to tell you that
unworldly
this kind of
kind of
shit they
creation. But
made
look at
that's
this.
got wood under
This
it.
is nothing
See,
but wood.
You see this?
Look at
lead.
that. Wood.
Lead.
And that's lead. Wood and lead that was readily
Look at this. Look at this. Old-fashioned tools that they've had around for hundreds of
available.
years. See this? Nothing modern about this. This took nothing extraordinary to build this shit.
Back in those days. Look.
But this is the mud flood's main argument, that the shit can't be built. And even quantum of science gets carried away in this and says the shit couldn't be built. Then they try to tell you and look at the World's Fair and how they built these things and the things was there. When the shit was built the same way. The shit was built the same way. These old motherfuckers using these old tools.
This is old-fashioned type of work. Now,
so there's nothing ancient about
you
this.
saying that this can't be done? Look at this.
Why did it freeze
This
up?
is the kind of stuff they've been doing for years.
So
look at this. Look at this. So it can be done.
Wood.
So it could be done.
Nothing ancient
there was
about
nothing
this shit
hard
at all.
or ancient about this.
So I wanted to get
they
that
had
out
the
there.
technology. They didn't need all them horses and stuff, y'all
very
saying.
far,
So
but
this
that's
is how it was done.
So all them mud flood people,
All right. This is for all those mud flood people out there who's trying to make the Neanderthal Aryan.
I did know in the morbid news, John Robertson died. If you don't know who John Robertson was, John Robertson, he coached Eric Dickerson, but he also coached O.J. Simpson. He was 89. He died maybe last weekend, but he died. I didn't say that in the morbid news, but he was 89. He coached USC to a championship with O.J., and he coached O.J., and then he coached Eric Dickerson when Eric Dickerson got all his he set the single season rushing record, which was almost broken by should have been broken by my man that played here. Dang, I'm old man right now. Adrian, what's his name? Adrian, AD all day. He should have broke the record, but he didn't. Hey, PJ Allen, what's happening?
You Can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul.
Oh, Joey, you in here? Did I miss you, Joey? Joey's in here? What's happening, Joey?
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul.
So John Robertson, ex-football coach. I didn't realize he coached the Rams for 9 years. He's ex-football coach. I just saw, I don't know who this cat is, but I thought we did him. Let's see. Nah, so in the morbid news, let's see who this cat is. Actor, song. What is his name? Song Ja Rim. Is that his name? I think that's his name. Oh. Song, okay, and they say he killed himself. And he was 39 years old from apparent suicide. He was 39. Why would a young dude like this? Run was discovered inside his residence by a friend with whom he planned to have lunch with. The Seoul Songsi police station confirmed that there was no evidence of foul play. Our initial investigation, what the fuck did this dude do, though? Let me see. 20s, his film actresses fame rose when he appeared in the Royal Guard in 20 episodes of the drama Moon Embracing the Sun. Never heard of it. So he appeared in Cool Guys, Hot Raymond, Inspiring Generation, 2 Weeks, and Quinn Wu. So yeah, some shit we probably didn't see. So I'm not sure who that cat was, you know. So I saw somebody else over here. Let's see who this is. In the morbid news, there's another cat named. Let's see if they show a picture of this motherfucker. Oh, this cat. I was just playing Scanners, and this cat was in Scanners. If this is him. Skip ad. Yeah, Timothy West. Okay. Timothy West, known for many roles in television theaters, died peacefully at 90. You should die peacefully at 90. He was married to fellow actress Prunella. Her name was Prunella. Damn. They married 60 years, starred in shows such as Brass, Not Going Out, and soaps Coronation Streets and East Ender. He must have been an English dude. A couple married in 63. Scales, Western Scales, who played. Yeah, these are some Britishes. So we wouldn't have known who they was. But again, they work for the beast, so that's why he died. You know how they be reporting it, and they don't be dying the days they reporting it. Oh. Ray Hines. I don't know if y'all hip to this, but Ray Hines is a pioneering jazz drummer. Yeah, I know Ray Hines is. And Ray Hines went on to become the most recorded percussionist in music history. Has died at the age of 99. Wow, he lived to be 99. Confirmed. Born in 25, grew up in Roxbury neighborhood of Boston. Probably in his early career, becoming a full-time professional drummer in 45. Wow, so 25, 35, 20, he was 20. Throughout the decade, he worked with the likes of saxophonist Lester Young, performed as part of Charlie Parker's quintet from 49 to 52. Hayes was offered a role in Duke Ellington's band, although he turned it down due to the desire of being in smaller bands, allowed more room for musical expression. He recorded output, impressive one. Hayes' recorded output is an impressive one, boasting appearances as a sideman for names as revered as Miles Davis, Sarah Vaughan, and Sonny Rollins, Theona Smoke, Art Beckley, Ray Charles, Stan Getz, and countless others. He received his first Grammy in 98, Best Drummer Jazz Performance Group for his work in Chick Corea. Over the next 19 years, he would take home 2 awards from 8 nominations. Okay. All right. So, all right. But that's the way you want to die. That's Hollywood. That's perfect Hollywood. That shows you that he wasn't really that in. He played his music, but he really wasn't feeding the beast like that. Yeah, he won the awards and stuff, but you know, you get to be 99, you stay away from the beast. Now, I don't know. I heard a report. They said that Denzel had a kissing scene in the upcoming Gladiator movie, but they took it out. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's just what I heard. So we'll see. Did because we know he's one of the few, him and Samuel Jackson, even though Samuel Jackson did wear a kilt. He did wear a kilt. And the Long Kiss Goodnight, where him and that chick is running down the hall. He's like, fuck it, run for your life. They shot a RPG at their ass. He's like, fuck it, run for your life. They jump out the window. But yeah, that movie, wherever that movie was where he played, he wore the kilt and shit. And maybe that was, gosh, what was that movie called? No, I thought it was The Long Kiss Goodnight, but it could have been The Kingsman. It could have been The Kingsman. What is these? Ooh, like it or not. You know, I'm going all over the place. Eye of the Tiger. Air Jordan 8. Ambush. When these motherfuckers coming out, are they just showing this shit? Landscape, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. The classic colorways are few features, sitting shoes. Are these coming out? I don't care about nothing but they look, but are they coming out? These Air Jordans. And Air Jordans 8s are hard to put on. My winter boots. I got winter boots. Air Jordan winter boots. Ambush, custom sneakers. Oh, these is custom. Oh, okay. So these ain't coming out. These ain't coming out. These are somebody got them and shit. Quantum physics, the holistic occult science that built the pyramids, which used Tycalon solar energy for healing, but also to recharge starships made of pure energy. That kind of comes from a movie a little bit. You say it's the sip from the cup. You say, as you said, he sipped from the cup. Indeed. If they sip from the cup. Yeah, they have to pay the piper, but some of them, you know, they just put their lips on the cup and they live to be 90. Oh, and I think we said the news about Bronny going down to the G League, which is good. It's good to play. You know, it's good to because practice during the season ain't really practicing, you know, but getting to play makes, a lot of people just getting to play is a big deal. So that's how you develop is playing. So that's good that, when this team, when the G League team is at home, he play with them unless the Lakers playing at home. If not, he's moving up. Oh, and I take my bumps and bruises as they come. Let me find it. Because I don't want anybody to say I don't say the good and the bad, because I do. So here we go. Now gold, I think gold was up to 2,700 and gold has fell down to 2,500. So it's lost about $200. It lost about $200, but that's not the real story today. The real story is, let me see if I can find it. Right here. Let's see what Bitcoin, look at this. Now, it wasn't long. We was looking at Bitcoin about 68,000 per coin. Right now, it's up to 90. And so if you see what they did, they gave money into Bitcoin and they took money out of gold. So they made Bitcoin and Ethereum. Ethereum is at 3,200, which ain't moved a lot, but this is a big jump. Like right here, this in just 24 hours, it's $3,000 jump. In 24 hours, a $3,000 jump. So if you see what they did, they knocked gold down 200, but they elevated this shit. When it was 68, 70, almost 20 grand. So if you held on to Bitcoin, you made, if you had 10 grand in, you just made 20 more grand. So I mean, it's a crapshoot, you're not guaranteed to always make money, but again, this proves that it will make money. And if you stayed in, like since it's dropped down to 6,000, look how much it's risen. So for the people that sold out at 5,000 or 6,000, so, hey, Jeffrey Lane, what's happening?
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul.
I ain't even seen, I guess we can look that up, Jeffrey. UFO today? Is there a UFO today? Congress yesterday, aliens and UFOs have been retrieved retrieved by the United States government. Well, it's hard to say. They say they did that a long time ago. So maybe not. I don't know. I'm not really a UFO guy. So new all-time high for Bitcoin, indeed. Yeah. Dogecoin is going to come up because of it. Let's see. Do they have that? The Dogcoin. They don't have that on here. I got Tether, USDC, which is United States. Let's see if they give me the full. Didn't really give the full, no. Well, maybe here. No, they're not giving me the Dogcoin. So, I just report it. That's all, it's on you to do your homework. Dogcoin is going up. Let's see about today. Aliens today. Let's see if we can find that. Aliens today. Let's see. It says Congress held another UFO hearing today. Okay. UFO should be studied by the U.S. House holding hearings to pull back the curtains, which is going to be all government. They just going to release government shit. Again, they're probably 100 years ahead of us in technology, if not more. If they're not 100 years or more in technology, so that's all this shit is. It's nothing that came from somewhere else. If anything, it came from time. That's where it came from. So here's the bullshit. I don't know if Jeffrey's talking about this bullshit. Says it will pull back the curtain on the UFO. So again, it's always something, never something serious. There's always some lights in the sky. They've been making saucers since the 50s, flying saucers. They've been making them since the 50s. And again, technologically, they're 100 to 200 years ahead of us. So all what you really see is technology that is not released to everybody. And so it's not used a lot. So this says entitled Anomalous Phenomenon Exposing the Truth. So is this today? Yeah, this is today. So here we go again. It's always all the pictures in the world. There's no clear picture of it. Of all the pictures, I don't care what kind of craft satellite, it's never a clear picture of it. So is this it? We are at war, Time Lord, with these entities, and they don't like humans. Well, they say that the gods was fucking on humans, so I don't know. I guess they liked us a little bit, or at least like their women. At least like their women, So I don't know. I ain't never been much of a UFO person. That's something else that it just appears like it's all government. That's what it appears to me, that it's all government. Septic shock. Oh, that's what the nigga died. Let me see. Oh, what does this say? What is this about Odell Beckham, who raised concern to convert his NFL salary to Bitcoin? So I remember Odell Beckham. It was a defensive player at first that did it, that converted his money to Bitcoin. Says Odell Beckham calls out the critics. See how much bread he made. In 1-year contract with the Dolphins worth $8 million. It's unclear whether he's receiving his current salary in Bitcoin. It says Bittman's base salary of $1.2 million, along with another $3 million available incentives, was converted to Bitcoin. Who plays for the Dolphins, now taking a victory lap as the value of Bitcoin continues to skyrocket. I'm taking my RAM salary in Bitcoin was dumb again, wrote Next, the company formerly known as Twitter. In May, Beckham signed a 1-year deal with the Dolphins worth $8 million. It's unclear if he was receiving that. So how much bread did you make? Bitcoin topped at 90,000 per coin. So I wonder how many he had. Price around 30% since Trump got elected. And it's also played a role in other races and ballots, blah, blah, blah. Beckham's not the first player to opt for Russell O'King. Yeah, Russell O'King. Yeah, I remember him. He took some of his salary and put it in Bitcoin. Yeah, they're not telling you how much bread he made. So boo on that story. Tell us how much bread he made, baby. Tell him we want to know how much bread he made. If he's talking shit, how many coins did he get? Oh, did y'all see the Lakers game? LeBron. It was a pretty decent game. Well, it was boring. It was kind of boring. The game was boring. It really was. I'm on my phone and shit. The game was kind of boring. Anthony Davis played better. Now they're making him the and he didn't really do much. Actually, he didn't really do much today. But you could see it's a focused effort to make him more of the offense. I must say though, I mean, I've talked about my own. Like at 40 years old, I was still like the top of my hooping. I think the last, let me see. So I played with these same cats for 10 years in the semi-pro league, and I led the team in scoring all 10 years. So we started, I was trying to think who was born. Maybe we started playing in 90, 80, 90. I think we started playing in 94 and 95, and we played until probably 04, 05. So yeah, I must have started in 94. We must have started playing together in 94. And yeah, because I was probably in those 10 years, 30 to 40. Yeah. And so, yeah, I was, but when I hit 40, I mean, I led, when I was 44, I led the league I played in scoring. I was averaging 26, something like 26 and 10 and 4 or 5 assists at 40. No, I was 44 actually. That last year I was 44. And then the final year I really played, I was averaging 30 something. That was a different pro league, but a semi-pro league. But I was averaging like 30 in that league, and I was like 45. Shooting that J, that shit was wet. Yeah, that shit was real wet. So, I understand being able to play in your 40s. It's not hard or impossible. That's all. Derek, what's happening?
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul.
What do you say, Jeffrey? Either way, whatever they are to be stopped immediately. It's a mixture of government and these entities. British Archbishop is a pedophile too. I don't doubt that. That's Catholic Church. While everything Lakers did good, a shout out to the Hero Twins. I mean, they played well. I mean, the defense is where they really stepped up. Now, is this a tournament game? Because I saw that they showed some tournament games that it was already being counted. They showed a couple tournament games being counted already. So I don't know if they're being counted, but that's what it looked like. Looked like this being counted. Oh, and a game yesterday. Oh, here we go. Duke. Did you guys see Duke and Kentucky play last night? Did you see, already they done made Flag a preseason All-American, but did you see the 3 turnovers he made at the end of the game? He missed 2 free throws, and then the last 2 possessions Duke had, he flubbed them on purpose, both of them. The one he stepped out of bounds, it did look like he slipped, but still he stepped out of bounds. And then the one before that was a weak shot. So I think it was a foul. Was it a push-off foul or something? But anyway, his last 2 possessions, you could clearly see he threw the game. He's already playing his role. So he's probably going to be player of the year. He may have lost that early game, but when I don't know if they're going to let him win the championship, because the Duke players that won the championship, ain't none of them really turned into nothing. Now, is he another JJ Redick, far as having a good Duke career, but not really being a great pro? Because Redick wasn't a great pro. He was a journeyman that wasn't known to play defense, nothing but a spot-up shooter, So we'll see. But that game was thrown on purpose. And the Michigan State game was really good too. I forget who they played, but it was a good game too. But that Kentucky game, that other dude, Kerr, I think was his name. That white boy can hoop. He can definitely hoop. So that was 2 good games. And then the fight and a couple games on tomorrow too. So, and plus not tomorrow. Yeah, the NBA, TNT be on tomorrow. I watched that game. Flag thought the game, yeah, threw the game at the end. I thought so too. I thought he threw the game at the end. I really did. I was like, wait, what is the odds? That they give it to their star player and then he don't come through. What's the odds? What's the odds that both times he didn't come through? And if I would have said who had the hotter hand, it would have been that other dude. That maybe his name was Kerr, the other white boy. His game is real nice. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Let me clear some energies. I'm so hyped up for the night. Sorry. Let me clean some energies out. Did he light? Don't look like it. Blew the motherfucker out. There we go. Sorry for the disrespect. I'm trying not to catch a fire. But to the east, to the north, to the west, to the south, above, below, and the center. All right. Keep those energies going good. Hope it doesn't fuck with my allergies. Is Tyson winning the fight? You know, Derek, I don't know, man. I'm like, Tyson 3 years younger than me, y'all. Tyson is 60 years old, and like, I don't care how in shape you are, 60 is 60. Now, can he still hit hard? Yeah. But you could see where he had lost so much. Now he did, you could see that he was invigorated when he fought Roy Jones, but again, wasn't that beyond 5 years ago when he fought Roy Jones? And again, this is not a real fight. This is, exhibition again, but I don't know. It's like, why? Like, Roy Jones continuing to fight, and you can see he ain't being an analysis, and he was one of the best. Now, I don't know if he did something and they fired him, but he was one of the best boxing analysis. And, now to see him and hear him talk, you can already see, the brain deterioration in Roy Jones. Tyson, at the end of his career, he took a lot of hits to his head, but his whole career, he really took a lot of hits. So I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I don't know. That dude had a weird name for Duke. Knipple? Yeah, Knipple, something like that. Yeah, Knipple or something. Yeah, it was something like that. But that mug could hoop. I was more impressed with him than Flag, because Flag seemed to be forcing. And again, he's got a lot of pressure on him, especially looking to be the top pick and getting that top bread when you're the top pick. So, will they let this Duke coach first year win it all? Man, it wouldn't surprise me if they did. I know how they run things, and I wouldn't be surprised if Duke runs the board, because yesterday I think Duke was number 6 and Kentucky was number 19. I don't think they'll swap. Duke lost to a ranked team, so they ain't gonna fall too much. Oh, and THC drink, club soda. I don't like the flavored ones. I like just the straight up club soda one. No sweetener. Just the buzz. And what I do is I pour a can in a glass, and it fills the glass like this. And I literally sip on this motherfucker all day. I got a flask, the old Prohibition flask. And I, take a couple sips as I go. And it's like, oh, gives you a little lift up. The man is bringing giant shorts back to the NBA. Say what? Oh, let's see. You bringing this. Oh, I want to see pictures of it. They say the nigga got on long shorts. Show it. No, they ain't even showing it. What is his name? Choices on point. Yeah, this is some bullshit. Clickbait shit. Man proudly known that his size 52 jersey is larger than even some of his Hornets. Oh, okay. It's just, I don't know. Does this look terribly big on him? I don't know if this is terribly big. It's just, kind of chunky, I guess. known this size 50 larger than some of the Hornets big man. Why he jokes about how the larger uniform might contribute his sport. He emphasized that comfort is the key to the game. This change made me feel more at ease. And I'll I ain't trying to defend these motherfuckers, but this shit with the stitching and the stiffness here, this shit does get kind of itchy. Even with the shirt underneath, I got enough jerseys that's stitched to know these stitches get kind of itchy, I must admit. So probably didn't want it too tight. I watched the new Planet of the Apes on Hulu to see. It is an enlightenment movie. Please, no spoilers. I'm gonna watch the new Planet of the Apes on Hulu. Okay, I think it's been out though. That movie's been out for a long time. Yeah, it's just coming on Hulu. Yeah, it's been out. But yeah, I talked about that. I ain't gonna talk about it again. I'm gonna go see the Big Red tomorrow. I think the Christmas, the Rock movie. I think I'm going to see that. These NBA players not training right anymore, so many are getting hurt. Like Zion. As I've said many times about Zion, he was let down by all his people. He really was. Like all his people let him down. Like go back and look at his high school. And I've told the story many times about the dude who imitated him. And I saw this imitation years ago. But like he ran on like the inside of his feet. So, and then remember also about Zion, even though he played AAU and everything, his high school ball was low Catholic league. He wasn't playing against top quality people, even in his state. So, you didn't see no 6'8" dudes he was playing against in his high school ball. Now he saw it in AAU when he played with John Morant. He did see it then, but he wasn't seeing it in his high school when they showing all them highlights. I never saw one of his AAU highlights. I only saw highlights against playing against 6-footers. What they say, a big fish in a small pond. So he wasn't even taught how to run. And nobody took it upon themselves to teach him that. And they let his weight, he was a heavy, heavy young guy. When you look at him, he was a heavy young guy. And he kind of fell into the same thing as Barkley, even though he's probably taller than Barkley, because I think he's 6'7". Barkley's more like 6'4.5". And like I even say Jordan is probably closer to 6'5" than 6'6", because him and Tyrone is about, it seemed like Tyrone was 4 or 5 inches. Tyrone had a picture of him and Jordan, and Tyrone's 6'8". And I mean, it wasn't like a couple inches. Tyrone was like almost a whole head taller. So, and you remember when Jordan and Barkley is walking down the hallway, they damn near the same height, if you remember. So Jordan is probably closer to 6'5", because Barkley's 6'4". So, but I like you could see the dudes who was in the Olympics getting hurt because they played, but a dude named like Zion that ain't played, I don't know. And it's like, we run into fake injuries too, where they make people sit out. We do run into that. But I don't know if the training is so isolated. And I mean, you train, and it's like the way they train now is almost like every sport trains the way bodybuilders, Like, a bodybuilder, I'm gonna work on this set of muscles, my legs, and so the training is geared towards that. It's like if you are weak in a certain area, the training is geared toward making you strong in that area. So the training, is more specific to what's supposed to help you. But I mean, I think the other part is, and what we saw it in European players more than the NBA. Cats who, going in the league young seem to be getting hurt. And that's what we were seeing in the European players. And look at Luka now. Luka was pretty much injury prone. But these cats that's been playing pro since 13, 14, I'd say the only exception was the player that played for Dallas. I think he's the only exception that really wasn't injury prone. But most of the foreign players that played pro, like Tony Parker's another example, dudes that played pro at 13, 14, they seem to get beat up. They seem to, from playing against men that long, they seem to kind of break down. And Luka's another one that played pro since he's 13, 14. So I think the younger players coming in, I think has a lot to do with it too. Now remember when dudes play AAU, like, reffing, I see how girls get burned out because since there's more women in the world, when I would do tournaments, it was always more girl teams. Like where the guys would play 3, if you win a championship, maybe 4, the girls was playing 5, maybe 6. You know, the girls would play almost 3, 4 games more than the dudes because there was so many girl teams. And so, you know, if you do this every weekend traveling, the girls is playing a lot. So they're playing all year round is the other part. Unless you play another sport, there's never a break. You know, there's never a break. You're constantly hooping. I mean, like if you don't play football, there's a fall league for you to play in most areas where you play fall ball. You know, most areas are set up like that. I know here it's set up like that. For the dudes who don't play football, it's a league for them to play basketball in, for the basketball players to play. And then camp starts about now. I think high school's about to kick off. Football ain't quite done, but I think high school still, I know they practicing by now. And I don't think the first games is until December, early December, late November, because we're getting into our playoffs. Yeah, we're getting into the high school. The high school playoffs are going on now. But I think, you know, because the guys play so much, I think that catches up with them, that they play so much. Does Zion lose power by losing weight, or is it the media capping out here? I hear bad training. You know, I think it's a little bit of both. Bad training, bad diet. They was, you know, bragging about how much weight he lost, and you know, maybe he'd be more powerful. But I think it's a combination of, you know, just lifetime of not being pushed, a lifetime of really not being pushed, and how far is he pushing himself? He's still getting these nagging injuries. Because, you know, when he plays, he is like Adrian Dantley and Barkley. To me, those were the two most like Dr. J said, Adrian Dantley was the hardest player that gave him the hardest time. And again, Adrian Dantley, same height, 6'4". And so, you know, going to the basket, you know, Zion was more athletic than Dantley, but, you know, around the basket, how athletic do you got to be? If you get there, you just got to find a way to get it in. So I don't know. It could be, you know, bad training, but it just seems like universal dudes. And you know, like I call Davis, you know, Lakers Davis, I call him Glass. You know, Anthony Davis, I call him Glass Davis. Because he seems hurt all the time. Yeah, it's 82 games season too much for players, the 90s and 2000. This wasn't happening. Plus, King James got the Balcoin EPO and high HGH, allegedly. Yeah, that's what they was kind of saying, that the nigga might have been juicing. I don't think it's think about it like this. When Will Chamberlain and them older players played, them dudes played in Converse. They like right now, they ride in private planes. So you ain't in the airport all night. You going to a hangar, or you going to wherever they take you to that plane. So you think of the old way, like the women now is just this season, next summer is going to get chartered planes. But you think of how hard, and think of dudes who played 80 games in Converse. You ain't see them dudes getting hurt all the time that played 80 games in Converse. Now you got the best cushiony shoes, inserts, the best trainers. So to really, you know, it just makes you wonder, are these fake injuries? You know, are they some of them fake? I don't know. It seems like that could be a big possibility, that we could be looking at fake injury. I gave Zion a mix of Sean Kemp and Barkley, my opinion. Kemp was so much bigger, though. I mean, Sean Kemp 6'10". and probably had a 40-inch vertical at 6'10". So I don't know if I kind of give him Sean Kemp. Sean Kemp was tall. You know, I've told the story. You know, I met Sean Kemp when he was 15. And he was playing with us when he was 15. We was playing half court. The only time I got to play with him, we was playing half court. But and I've told the story, you know, it's like we played 3 or 4 games and finally we beat him. Again, he's going in 10th grade. He's young. So back then he might have been only 6'8", 6'9". And then he said, I'm going to be back. I'm going to go run around the lake. And the lake was something like 4 or 5 miles to run around this motherfucker. And then an hour or so later, here comes this motherfucker. He done ran around the lake. Because he's from Elkhart, Indiana, which is like almost on the Michigan border. So, so I don't know if you know, having the best of everything, the best travel, the best nutrition, you know, I don't know. It's kind of hard to judge why these cats is getting hurt so much. So I don't know. You know, you know, makes me wonder. And I think some of the injuries sometimes be fake. Like in the Dodgers baseball game, they said he separated his shoulder, but yet he kept playing. So I don't know. We see. They said he just had shoulder surgeries. So we see. And then now they're saying Denzel's going to be playing in Black Panther 3. That's what they said. Well, Gladiator, they said he kissed somebody. Who is this dude? This is somebody from Paris. He died at 53. Damn. Director of Chanel's jewelry creation dies at 53. Wow. Huh. Again, if you taste it, they're going to tell you when you die. Most people don't die in their 50s. Most people live a long life. But, who's this cat? Producer of The Sweet Hereafter. And damn, it's like a lot of people you don't even know. These cats die and you don't even know who they are. The Sweet Hereafter and E. Tristan. Who is this motherfucker? Oh, Hungarian. See, why, you know, there's like, if they can't get blood from Americans, they got to tell you about some foreigner that died. So I find that funny. Then Roman's gay now. These women are divas. They showing the nature of savage and jealous life. And it's like, it makes you wonder, like, why do brothers pick the same kind of, you know, fake butt, fake tits, fake hair? Why, you know, like, how often, excuse me, how often do we see that? We constantly see it, and we constantly see these dudes having money, and we know what happens after they get them pregnant, and you got to get these chicks bread. And before you know it, this chick is getting bread from 3 different entertainers. So she ain't really got to do shit. And like, why would a guy go for that? It's like, I think it's some kind of agreement, you know, there. I think it's some kind of agreement. You know, so I don't know. I don't know. Like, why, you know, of all the traps, one thing they do is when they get you in, they tell you about how to take care of your money, and they tell you to beware of the women. But yeah, here you see these NBA players, you know, it's like getting these chicks pregnant. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with children, but again, it appears like it's a trap. It doesn't seem like it's natural. When you see the same women being passed around, and especially the same women being passed around by entertainers. It was like Scottie Pippen's wife was almost like she was initiation chick, the way she was getting passed around, then end up with Michael Jordan's son. And, you know, it's like, well, why would anybody want her? I mean, she looked faker and faker as she get older, putting all that shit in her face. And, you know, when they put that shit in their face, they make their faces long. You notice that? It pushes their faces, like Vivica Fox. You can see it pushes their face long because they got all that shit in there. All those fillers and stuff. It's like they're afraid to look old. And there's nothing wrong with looking old. So, Denzel Washington staying busy. Gladiator and Black Panther and playing General Hannibal coming soon. Yeah, I heard he was. Where am I at? Yeah, Hannibal, like they have issues. They have issues. Is that this week? Yeah, that's got to be this week. Okay. Yeah, they have issues. They have issues when you know, these people that was melanated in real life, and then all of a sudden you see them in a movie and they ain't melanated. You know, it's like, but now they are being melanated, and so they're in an uproar over that. It's like Arabs will fight you all day. And we know that the Arabs didn't go into Kemet until what, the 14th, 15th century? So how are you those people that was here before in Africa? When y'all came from Arabia, y'all is like mixed with Persians. You know, you are Arab folks. You ain't these African people that built this shit. You ain't going to Nibia and saying you built this shit. But because they conquered They conquered that shit. They want to say that shit come from them, and we know it didn't come from them. And then we get insulted because there was a movie 3 or 4 years ago, Atanagan and King Tut, making them European looking people. What about the War of the Gods? Again, the people from Kemet looking more like Europeans, and they're Mediterranean folks. Some of the Spanish is Mediterranean. Oh, Lobo, what's happening?
You can't get too close to my boy Safari.
The deal with the same woman because they know what kind of freaky stuff they into. Well, yeah, I guess it's if that's what you into, yeah, I guess so. Yes, Arab mixed, good call. Oh yeah, indeed. I harp about that all the time. Well, it is Lobo came at a perfect time, so it is where I'm gonna do my picks. And we're going into week 11. And let me see, is the full schedule up? See how much of the schedule I can put up. And so going into week 11, the first game on the bracket is the Eagles. Eagles and the Commanders. That should be, yeah, Eagles and Commanders. And you know me, I got the Eagles. And then we've got, they got a little different than me, but I'll go by what they got too. Well, I'll go by my own, and you can see it here on the schedule what it is. I think this is all the games. All right. And so we've got the Jags and the Lions. I got the Lions. We got the Dolphins and Raiders. I've been rolling with the Dolphins, even though they're 3-6. I think the Dolphins win at home. The Browns and the Saints, I have no confidence in the Saints, but they are playing the Saints at home. But man, I have no confidence in the Saints. So I'm going to go with the Browns. The Browns ain't been playing great, but I'd have no confidence in the Saints. Jets and Colts. The Colts have been playing better. I think they're trying to get rid of Aaron Rodgers, so this is his humiliation year. Vikings and the Titans. Vikings skull. We got the Packers and the Bears. I'm going with the Packers on the road. Was this Packers on the road? No, one of them I wrote different. This Packers. But I'm going, no matter where they're at, I'm going with the Packers. Rams and the Patriots. Neither one of these teams have been playing great, but I think the Rams have been playing a little better, so I'm going to go with the Rams. Ravens and Steelers. This is a tough one. Now, the Steelers just barely won the other day. The Steelers just barely won. And the Ravens, I don't know. It's like the Ravens defense gives up points. Steelers are tough at home, and I've been getting burned by the Ravens so much. So I'm going to go Steelers at home, even though I think this is a mistake. I don't know. I go Steelers at home. 49ers, and I go now is this one? Let me see. Yeah, 49ers at home. I'm going with the 49ers. Falcons and Broncos. Now is this? Falcons and Broncos. Did I get this one mixed up? Broncos at home, right? Falcons are just not. They are not consistent at all. So, but they could go up there and beat these mugs. But I'm still go with the Broncos at home. He has them playing better. Chiefs and the Bills. Wow. No, was this one? Let's see. Yeah, okay. The Chiefs are on the road. Okay, I just wanted to double check. So this is the late games. Chiefs and the Bills. I voted against the Chiefs last week, and I'm going to do it again this week. I'm going to go with the Bills at home. Maybe they're going to let them be undefeated, but we'll see. Chargers and the Bengals. I've been going with the Chargers all year. And is that Chargers at home? Yeah, the Chargers are at home. And then the Sunday, is that the Sunday night game? Or Monday night game? Monday night game. Yeah, Sunday night game is Chargers Bengals. It must be the Sunday night game. Yeah. And so the Monday night games is Texans and Cowboys. I mean, can the Cowboys be any worse? Man, Cowboys have caused me so many losses. And I like the Texans, and they got a better team. And I'm going to say Texans win on the road, right? Texans on the road, right? We're up to Monday night. Texans, yeah, Texans on the road. I got Texans beating the Cowboys. So I've got Eagles, Lions, Dolphins, Browns, Colts, Vikings, Packers, Rams, Steelers, 49ers, Browns, Bills, Chargers, Texans. And as you know, I'm definitely going to brag again right now. I am 98 and 50. I am 98 and 50 for the year. So I've been picking them pretty good. I made a little change this year too. I've been picking them pretty good. So that is my weekly picks. So we'll see how it turns out tomorrow night when we have the Eagles and the Commanders, which should be a pretty decent game. Let's see. Hey, Joey, thank you for joining.
You can't get too close to Michael. It's a foul.
1992 Pontiac Olympic NBA, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, Magic. Did you say if you get too close to Michael, it's a foul? Yeah, that's what I'm playing right here.
You can't get too close to Michael. It's a foul.
Yeah, and you know, Michael's face, Michael was stunned. And you see they all showing signs, you know, they showing their affinity or their cooperation in the system, you know, all of them are showing signs. So we got one doing the okay, we got one doing the devil horns. Well, it's peace too, so but yeah, that's what that is, you know. That's what that is. That's when all three of them was, I think it's Life or Time magazine, maybe Life. No, it was Time, maybe Time magazine. And they're really taking a picture on the cover of it. And yeah, as Magic says that, and Mike was like, well, you ain't even been playing, so we can't foul you. He had a weak comeback, but Magic got him because they all bust up laughing when Magic said that shit. They all bust up laughing. It was a joke, but you know, that was the word back then. Like I had a video, I've said this many times, but I had a video where it showed them play, what was it? They played Portland and Drexler and them in, must have been 98. No, 88, they won 90, right? They won 90. So it must have been 89. And Portland blew them out, no problem. That's back when you could hand check and stuff. And then all of a sudden, you know, they changed the rules in 1990. They changed the rules to help Michael Jordan. And that's the only knock you could have to say about his career. He didn't win when they had the old rules. They took the hand checking out. And I mean, I get on, you know, Karl Malone, how many times he went to the line, but let's not forget, Mike was the same way. Mike stayed on the free throw line. You know, I always got on Karl Malone, but so did Mike. And I mean, people have shown compilation videos and showing you where he ain't getting fouled, but yet they're putting him on the line. And so the league definitely favored Mike. It definitely favored Mike, and they changed the rules to help Mike because the hand checking rules and the physicality that he faced when he never won changed the rules, and all of a sudden Mike won him a championship. And like Isaiah said, Isaiah beat Magic and Bird. He beat Kareem and Magic, and he beat Bird, Parrish, and McHale. Michael Jordan never beat those players. He beat Magic by himself. He beat Magic with Perkins. He didn't beat Magic with Kareem. So Jordan did not beat greats. He did not beat any greats. He never went through a great team other than a kind of on the decline when he finally beat the Pistons after his third try when they was kind of on the decline. Yeah, because by that point, Isaiah had played 10 years. Mark Aguirre, they had played 10 years. Lambeer probably had played 12 years by then. So when they got by them, they wasn't prime. They was on their way going down. When Isaiah beat everybody Isaiah beat them whenever all of them was pretty much in their prime, I'll say, except Larry Bird got hurt pretty early in his career. You know, and I've said many times, it hurt Larry Bird to transfer from Indiana because they took a year away from him. You know, so when he transferred to Illinois State or Indiana State, you know, he had to play that extra year. He had to sit out a year and then play an extra year. So, and then I think Larry Bird took the extra year too. I think he was, because I think he could have came out because he got drafted the year before. He got drafted when he was eligible. That's how Boston got him. They had drafted him the year before, and they re-signed him or did something to kept his rights going into that season. I forget the move they made, but they had to make a move to keep Bird that next draft because he waited, until Magic came out his sophomore year, Magic and Kelser and that group. So James Worthy was hurt in those finals in 91. Yeah. Well, not only James Worthy, Adam, or what was his name? Scott. Scott was hurt too. Like, think about when the Pistons really got to beat Magic, and that was Magic and Kareem. Remember when the Pistons beat Magic? Scott got hurt and Worthy. They were both hurt when the Pistons beat them. So, and then let's not forget one game when Boston, James Worthy threw a turnover on purpose. Let's not forget that. He definitely threw a turnover so Boston he threw that ball to Henderson. Nobody throws a cork. Magic right next to you, one of the greatest guards in the history, and you throwing the ball across court. No, it don't work like that. But that's what we saw him do. So no knock. Mike played great, but Mike got a lot of help that Wilt definitely didn't get that help. I mean, as hard as they, we have to understand that even when Wilt played, the game was fixed. And the game really wasn't fixed for him to win. Wilt was looked at as the bad guy, and they made Bill Russell the good guy. I mean, watch that documentary on Bill Russell, where I found out I actually discovered the first manipulated shot. I think his name was Erickson, where they took his shot out. They made him miss on purpose. But anyway, Bill Russell couldn't shoot. Literally, Bill Russell won the league and couldn't shoot. He could play defense and block shots, and he. The way we block shots nowadays, that's what Bill Russell. People weren't blocking shots like aggressively guarding somebody and blocking their shots. They was blocking shots on, maybe you switch. I mean, it just wasn't a big part of basketball, and old basketball. Bill Russell was the first to really go after motherfucker shots, because before then, people weren't really going after blocking shots. And then Bill Russell did it. And then, getting the fast break, getting the rebound and pushing it out. We can look at the pro game that Bill Russell helped that. But scoring, the first time Wilt faced Bill, he dropped 45 on him. Destroyed him. So Wilt was made to be the bad guy. And anybody thinks that New York Knicks in 72, when Willis Reed was hurt, and then from that same series, we get Jerry West heaving it from damn near out of bounds at the other basket. Now, that's the longest shot. Actually comes from damn near out of bounds at the longest. The dude from, Mo Manning. What was the Loyola team? That dude, Jerry something, he has the record for the longest shot in pro ball. He was in the NBA and threw it up there. Stop trolling Bill Russell. He didn't know. He knew. He never handled Wilt. Wilt averaged something like 38 on him in a career-wise. Now, let's say Russell would have, 20, 30 rebounds. I'll give that to Russell, but where he didn't really dominate Wilt. Wilt dominated him. And I mean, Havlicek throwing the ball away. Why didn't they throw the ball to Wilt? Havlicek, they didn't throw the ball to Wilt. Why? Wilt's standing right next to the dude. Why did he throw there? Throw it up in the air. Wilt gonna go get it. He gonna turn around and dunk on Russell. So Wilt was the better player. Wilt was the better player. Shit, they're averaging 50 points a game. I don't care who you playing against. Like right now, I would tell any of y'all, go out there and find some junior high boys and see if you can score 50 to 70 points on them. I'll challenge anybody that's watching. You tell me, you go out there and just junior high competition and see if you can get 50 points on junior high competition. Just junior high competition. And see if you can get 50 to 80 points to see how difficult it could be. Now, if you're a natural shooter, I still say it's going to be hard for you. They're going to be guarding you and try to guard for you. If you miss, you ain't going to, you got to be super quick to go get the rebound. You that kind of player that you can just run up and get the rebound like that. But most people ain't. So, what Wilt did, averaging 50 a season, 30 rebounds, I mean, that kind of shit is just, Jordan never did nothing like that. Like Wilt said, they changed the league to hamper Wilt. And they changed the league to help Jordan, and that's a fact. Yeah, his stats is like if you look, he averaged a triple-double during the best record at one time, I think it was, let me get this right, 67 and 14, 13, up till the Lakers 72 and 10. It was, or what was it? What was the Lakers? 69. Well, I'm trying to think of the 67 team. But anyway, when Wilt won his first title, that was the best record ever. And when he beat Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals, and then they beat the Warriors in the championship. But he averaged the whole playoffs, because you can get a book on the 67 season. The whole playoffs, Wilt averaged a triple-double. And I wasn't even looking for this information, but I just got looking at the games. I'm like, wait a minute. This motherfucker, from the beginning of the playoffs to the end, every game he averaged a triple-double. In the 60, 67, 68. No, I think it's 66, 67 season, I think. I think they were the 67 champions. And so, not only was he dominant, he was on two of the most, dominant teams ever. What is it, 30? They changed it. It used to be 32-0. I think now it's 33-0. Or they changed it one way or another. I forget. But it's like and that wasn't even, when they won 32 or 33 games in a row, that wasn't even prime Wilt. That was Wilt with a broken hand. Now, when he lost, if you watch the documentary on Wilt, when they lost it to the New York Knicks and Willis Reed, he was hurt. Wilt had ACL surgery in the year and came back and played. So, he was playing on a bad leg. And it probably hurt him, years to come. It probably hurt him too. Jabbar say, yeah, Wilt is, I mean, arguably what he did for basketball. I mean, think about like the free throw line thing. Before, Wilt was in practice one day and just jumped from the free throw line and dunked it. He was like, well, I can't make my free throw, so he was just in practice and dunked it. A writer wrote about it in the newspaper. The NCAA calls the newspaper guy up and was like, what did you see? What are you writing? Wilt just, he's like, describe it. Wilt just, from the circle, jumped and dunked it, because that's how he was going to do all his free throws. So they made a rule that going in season that you couldn't jump over the free throw line, because that would have solved, Wilt would have been a 100% shooter if all he had to do was run and dunk. How many people do you think could just dunk from the free throw line without a big head start? You see what Jordan and them had to do. And Dr. J, they had to run from the other end of the court. Wilt could take a couple steps and do it. Do you understand what I'm saying? This man could take a couple steps and jump to the free throw line and dunk it. And that's why you got a rule today that you can't go past the free throw line on your free throws, was because of Wilt. I mean, goaltending. Well, Wilt was in high school and the baskets was against the walls because he's from Philadelphia and one of them Cracker Box gyms. You could goaltend. I think his first couple years in Kansas, when he became eligible because freshmen couldn't play, I think you could still goaltend. But I know when he was in high school, he could definitely still dunk. In high school, he could jump from the free throw line, but he could goaltend. He could goaltend in high school. Watch one of his high school games where he just gets lazy. He be blocking them and catching them. There was no goaltending rule, because goaltending, remember, the ball's got to start dropping. But then it didn't matter. They putting up, Wilt just grabbing them. So now I think, like, if we look at a career and who was the greatest winner, it's hard to argue against Kareem. Again, Kareem won it in high school. He won it in college. I mean, he was player of the year 3 years in a row and won it. Wilt only played, I think, 2 years. He went there 3 because you couldn't play as a freshman. You could play JV. They used to have JV colleges. I don't know if y'all know that, not just intramural. They used to have actually a JV team that would play against, other colleges. Or, play against intramurals too, so they played a full season back then, JV college. So, but Kareem, it's hard to argue against Kareem being, from that point, because, to win every level, and not just win, but dominate. And again, Kareem is the reason they took the dunk away, was because Kareem. Look at some highlights of Kareem's freshman year at UCLA. And again, he's playing, JV basketball or freshman basketball, but it was called JV. And watch how he dunks. I mean, he is vicious. Maybe I can find a clip. Let's see if I can find a clip. Let's see. If I can find a clip of Kareem's freshman year. And I'll just play a few plays. Blue Al Cinder freshman at UCLA. Let's see what this. No, I spelled it all fucked up. Wait. Ooh. It's just some oops. Let's see. Freshman. Let's go 1968. Freshman UCLA. Let's take this away. Damn. I'm a no spelling nigga. Okay, here we go. Yeah, maybe this will bring it. Yeah, I want to get just one of his freshman games. Because this nigga was wrecking
First
shit
day
as
of
a
practice, I
freshman.
said, let's try a shot. It's going to make you 5 inches taller and no one will ever block it. And if you take to it, you're going to make an awful lot of money. So we started working on that hook across the middle. I was on Coach Wood. I was drafted to coach the freshmen and continue on to get my master's at Oregon State. So I chose to do that instead.
Let's see. Did we halftime tribute? No. I am not getting any of his freshman stuff. Yeah, I'm not. None of his freshman stuff is pulling up. Usually this stuff. Well, let me see. Let's see if they play any of his freshman
Player
stuff.
of the century, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar,
So
UCLA.
he was player of the century. Okay. This shows.
Player of the century, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
This only gonna show a couple plays, so it's only gonna be a couple plays. But this is when he's a freshman. I can just tell from this move. Watch how powerful he is.
UCLA.
Many are calling the 7-1 center the greatest college player of all time.
The greatest. Best ever. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar changed the way.
Let's see if they show any more.
Basketball player of the 20th century and a 3-time National Player of the Year.
Miles Cinder dominated this game from beginning to end. He grabbed 20 rebounds and scored 37 points.
Well, let me see. Maybe this is
basketball because of
Let's see if this is.
Lou put on a great exhibition against Dayton in the championship. The only defense against that shot is the new rule which prohibits dunking.
That was the only year he could dunk is when he
in
was
college
a freshman.
basketball that says you can't dunk anymore. You know you've had a big impact on the game. His 26.4 career scoring average and 29 points per game single season scoring average in 1967 still ranks #1 in Pac-12 and UCLA basketball history.
Come across, that's killing out.
Regardless of position, in terms of a combination of skill.
And man, this mug is just dominating. Like in the documentary, they show him, but he just like is nasty with it. His dunks be nasty. Skyhook is more harder than Curry's three. Yeah, it is. And it's like what was like, when I talk about basket manipulation, one thing that can't be denied, there are two players that was consistently could shoot from half court and make it. And these players didn't have the technology to do it consistently over 100 times. They probably played 100 games a year, but that was Goose Tatum first. Goose Tatum could literally throw a hook from half court and make it, then walk on the other, then from the same spot, or would he walk across? He would then walk across the court and hook it and hit to the other spot. Now, many of you maybe saw Meadowlark Lemon do the same thing, but the one who started is Goose Tatum's, and there's films out there of Goose Tatum doing it, and he was consistent with it, where Goose could hook it on one side and it'd go in, then Goose would hook it on the other side and go in, and Meadowlark later would do it. Now, last time I went, they still try it, but they get a couple tries. But Goose Tatum could regularly throw a hook from half court and hit. So I would say, but that Steph Curry was doing it, like I mentioned, the Jerry West shot. I mean, you can just see. And the Kawhi Leonard shot is the biggest. I don't give a fuck if you see our technology. This is who we wanted to win. So that's the way it ended, So I don't know. I do know. I do know. Yeah, I forgot. I got new gear, so I want to show the new gear I got. I got, like I've said before, the problem I don't like Tech is because Tech has them ugly pockets. But with this pair, because this is Tech pants, and I got another pair. I got two other pair of Tech pants that the pockets ain't got that ugly black sewing. So they did the one pocket like this instead of giving you all that black border, which I don't like on Tech. They did the pockets like this instead. They gave you the other pocket like that. And these are slim fit taper leg. What is it called? I think that's the name of it. So these are Tech. These are Tech. Now, all Nike Tech right now is on sale for 25%. And this was normally, let's see if I can see what it normally price was. No, I ripped it all off. But I think 90 to 100 normally this was. And then it was priced at 59. And I got 25% of 59. So I think I got these for 44. And even though they're big, I think they'll be okay. I like that they're not, not so straight-legged. So, and this is Nike though. You see the swoosh. Now, I want to give a shout out to Ballin' on a Budget. I want to give a shout out to him because he hit me to this kind of gear, and I didn't even know about this gear. So his show he did a week or so ago. See, it's a sun zip. No, it's a zip. He was showing a jacket, and the jacket, like the way the pockets are, you like where the pouch is, the pouch, like the lines of the pouch, you can't even hardly see. But and so this is Jordan Tech, which I didn't even realize existed, but this is actually Jordan Tech. And try to show you. I grabbed the 3X, but I think I'm gonna go with it. It's not terribly big on me. And look at how flush that pocket is. And there's zippers inside of it. But look at how flush that pocket is. So, and I don't know, I still might trade, but they might not have no more of these, so I might end up having to keep it. And so they don't have that ugly hem pocket that I don't like. And this one was, again, all this stuff was 25% off. And this one was normally $69. I think I got this for, what does the receipt say? I got this for 52. 52. So it was 90 for both of it. And this got the hoodie. But it's Jordan Tech. So it's Jordan Tech, and it ain't got that ugly line, which I don't care for. So yeah, I done. See, I forgot to take my meds. I forgot to bring them in here. So I am going to have to play something shortly so I can go get my meds. If y'all don't mind, I could play one of my old shows. I guess Let Me Talk. Oh, okay, it ain't going to take me. I'll play this, brother. They don't seem to mind me playing their stuff.
Getting 8 ads every 20 minutes is actually diabolical. Meet Pi, the ad blocker that actually works on Twitch, aka every user's dream. I can watch.
I don't hate the West. I don't hate America.
I'm gonna let this brother
We hate evil and wrongdoing, and you should too. But they've got you thinking that you have to patriotically defend the evil and wrongdoing that your country does, even when you yourselves are really the worst victims of your own so-called civilization.
Y'all hear that?
That's the worst part of all this. As I've said before, the only real conspiracy theory that I believe in is the conspiracy of Shaitan, of Iblis.
I can hear it, but
and he mobilizes in societies those sectors of the society according to their own agendas.
Y'all can't hear that, can you? Jamal and C. Jeter, you gotta have a story. Jamar Watch and C. Jeter on You're Gonna Have a Story. Skyhook is more hard. What is it? Jamar Watch and C. Later. Yeah, it's not. For some reason, that's on.
To serve his agenda. And his agenda is to lead as many people into hell as possible. His agenda is to try to prove that his contempt for Nabi Adam alayhi salam was justified.
Yeah, it's not coming.
So he wants to prove that human beings are worthless. He wants to prove that they're contemptible. So there's another deeper reason why they want to say that America represents the freest country in the world. Think about that.
And it should be.
Why Shaitan wants you to have that impression. Because free, theoretically, means the most natural state, the least controlled state, the least coerced, and the most organic expression of human.
No, that's not playing. So if that's not playing, mine's not playing either. Oh well. Well, I'm sorry, it's not. Oh, you guys can hear it. Okay, good. Doesn't look like you can hear it, but if you can hear it, I'm gonna let him play then. Y'all can hear it. So give me a second to go get these pills. Let this brother chop.
Yourselves are really the worst victims of your own so-called civilization. That's the worst part of all this. As I've said before, the only real conspiracy theory that I believe in is the conspiracy of Shaitan, of Iblis. And he mobilizes in societies those sectors of the society according to their own agendas to serve his agenda. And his agenda is to lead as many people into hell as possible. His agenda is to try to prove that his contempt for Nabi Adam alayhi salam was justified. So he wants to prove that human beings are worthless. He wants to prove that they're contemptible. So there's another deeper reason why they want to say that America represents the freest country in the world. Think about that. Why Shaitan wants you to have that impression. Because free, theoretically, means the most natural state, the least controlled state, the least coerced, and the most organic expression of human life and of human society. American society, therefore, must represent the best representation of the true nature of human beings. That's why freedom is the key point in America's image in this grand scheme of things. Because if this is what humanity is supposed to look like when it's left free, then we're surely just as bad as Iblis thought we were. America has become the largest consumer of pornography in the world, which is an industry of degradation that reduces human beings to objects, dehumanizes relationships, and turns intimacy into a spectacle for profit. America's number one, the undisputed champion of this exploitation. Every second of every day, every second, over 30,000 Americans are viewing filthy, explicit content. And each viewing takes them another step away from the sacredness of intimacy. and all the blessings that is produced by the intimacy between men and women, between a husband and a wife. America's youth are engaged in sexual activity at an earlier age than almost anywhere else, with nearly 40% of high school students having had intercourse before they even reach 17. This hookup culture isn't just tolerated, it's celebrated, it's encouraged, and it's sold to young people as if it's some kind of an achievement. You sexualize your young without ever maturing them. In their high schools, their colleges, and in your media, young people are told that commitment is a burden, that restraint is repressive, and that pleasure is the only purpose. This isn't freedom. This is engineering. Then look at what they call their alternative lifestyles, which they celebrate as kinks and fetishes and what have you. In America, nearly half of the entire population openly engages in so-called non-traditional sexual behaviors, from bondage to role play to things that I won't even say aloud. These practices are marketed and embraced as part of modern life. They transgress the limits of decency, of normality, and the media glamorizes that and makes perversion normal. They make it seem like it's even healthy. But what is this, if not the complete perversion of intimacy, of normal relationships? This isn't an organic expression of humanity, it's a corruption of it, and it's calculated. Their own surveys show that
I agree. It's Babylon. If you look at like where the world is today, it's Babylon. That's what they want to give you. You know, Rome was nothing but a continuation of Babylon. You know, you look at all the Romans and, you know, was Gaglia, that dude that was sewing people up in lions and stuff, sewing them inside of bulls, you know, and torturing people. And then, you know, he killed so many people as people killed him. But yeah, perversion is accepted now. I mean, what do you think this Puffy thing is all about? It's like his perversion was, so, you know, so they're talking about it. They're talking about his perversion, Orlando Brown, what he did. You know, they're talking about these type of perversions, but they're talking about Puffy's perversions and the young ladies that, you know, he traumatized, you know, with multiple people. Like it's almost, you know, normalized. You know, perversion is almost normalized. Now, everybody, you know, got whatever turn you on, but, you know, you shouldn't be chasing donkeys around the living room or goats and shit, you know. Remember, I used to work with some old European cats, and they talking about stump breaking a cow, and they'd laugh at with each other. You know what stump breaking a cow is? I was like, no, I do not. He's like, what you do is you get on the stump and you back a cow up and do what? This dude told me to fuck the cow. I'm like, you was some weirdo motherfuckers, boy. He called it stump breaking. He's like, you ever stump break a cow? I'm like he asked me like I was supposed to know. I'd never heard of that shit. This motherfucker's talking about fucking a cow. Like, no, that's not for me. Now, I heard of people like tip a cow over while they sleep, then run, you know, but I've never heard of stump breaking. So, yeah, what the brother was saying is real. It's like what we're accepting. And it's like the things, this is, you know, like those of you that have children, it's like what they're exposed to. You know, like, you know, we talk about soft porn. You know, like now you'll see people on a straight up regular TV show, not cable, on a regular TV show, dry humping each other. Dry humping each other. Now, I told the story before. It must have been 81, 82 when I first got the Playboy channel. You only saw people dry humping each other on the Playboy channel. You know, you didn't see it on regular TV. Now, regular TV show people dry humping each other. So, you know, you know, it's got to be up the corporate ladder that would allow this. That would even allow this kind of thing. I like fucking with the hat. I like the Capone style. Just keep fucking with it. But yeah, I mean, it's accepted. And so it's like, you know, we can't even hide our children from it because this is the main people they want to push it to too. You know, and it's like remember the old days of cable where you could lock the children out of the channels? Well, with the phones, you know, you can put how much and what content, but it's still you the way phones are with other children. So you can't really hide them. They're going to be exposed no matter what. They're going to be exposed to it just because, you know, it's like it's out there. And you know, when you get in junior high, you know, you get more curious. By the time in high school, you know, by the time almost anybody's in high school, you done seen full porn by then. You 14, 15, 16, by the time you that age, you done watch full porn one time or another. And you know, I've said this before, and this is real. It's like if you satisfy yourself to porn, you are really letting demons in you, really letting sex demons in you. It's like I used to tell my ex-wife, she'd get all drunk and want to have sex while she was drunk. It was like, really, I was having sex with a demon. Really? And so that's why, you know, people don't understand. You got to be careful because, you know, it's people practice sex magic. What they say, Richard Pryor say, put a mojo on your ass. Never know what you're doing. You know, you be sleep busting nothing and go to sleep and this bitch is performing some shit. I mean, that kind of thing does exist. You know, you never know. You know, you got to protect yourself. You never know. It's like I'm telling my children, don't take drinks when you're out. You should have been known that. You go out, you never take a drink from somebody. That's why they talk about this puppy thing and people going to parties, you know, when motherfucker had the champagne tray. I never in my life would I take a drink with just an open drink and the motherfucker just handing drinks out like they show in movies. Never in my life have I taken a drink from anybody. I knew about that shit because I had I guess it was my cousin's uncle. This motherfucker was working on his PhD and somebody gave him some acid. Flipped him out, you know? Never was the same. And this motherfucker was about to be a lawyer. He was getting his doctorate and he was about to take the law exam. Deep brother. And somebody slipped some shit in his drink. And so I learned from a young age, you don't take shit from people. So that's what I was telling my daughter. You know, my daughter went to D.C. That was the main thing to learn. Don't take shit from nobody. Don't drink from nobody. That's what I hit her with. So, but that, you know, it's like we're accepting, you know, debauchery. You know, I'd say debauchery, but really we accept debauchery. You know, tie me up, baby. You know, you like being tied up and shit. I mean, that's sexual, you know, sexual bondage. And I mean, like if you would look at the psychology, why you would like something like that, what had happened to you to make you like something like that? Now, there's nothing wrong. You know, woman want her hair pulled. I think that's pretty, you know, pulling her hair is pretty. Well, you know, sisters had weaves, but European women don't. They, you know, they like getting their hair pulled. That's about kinky as I'm going to get. Okay, I'll pull your hair. I'll smack your ass. You want your ass smacked? Okay, I'll smack your ass a few times. But that's about my kink. You know, that shit of pulling trains on women and shit. Yeah, that never was like, I never had a flavor for that or a taste for that. I don't, you know, you know, dudes running through women. Like I told the story before. I witnessed a girl get raped by 20-some people. You know, niggas was fighting in the room who was going to rape her next because she had passed out on alcohol. And it was like 20 people ran through her. And it was, you know, these, like now, I've said this before, I'm Facebook friends with 2 of them. And these some DC niggas. And that's all I'll say is, but I ain't gonna say they name, bust them out, but they know what they did to that girl. They in the room fighting over who's gonna fuck her next. She's passed out. And I told her whole stories. Like she said she took a shower. And that fucked up the evidence, you know. She's supposed to just go straight to the police station when she woke up. And I never saw her again. But it just goes to show you, you know, you just can't trust anybody, you know. You got to tell young people that. Like I told my daughter, I was like, never get in a car with more than one dude. Never. If there's more than 2 dudes, you call one of your people. You call me, you call your mom. He's like, no, you got some other dude in the car with him. I'm like, well, don't get in the car with him. He ain't really, you know, he ain't thinking about you. So, real players don't do no fuck trains, Jack. Yeah, exactly. And especially motherfuckers talk about 2 dudes. The reason why I don't like watching porn is I do not want to see another motherfucker's dick. Now, I watch a couple women, but definitely I will not watch, a man and a woman because I do not want to look at a man. You know, some motherfuckers, like, I don't know how two dicks can be in the same room. I don't get that. How is that satisfying? Looking at another nigga. I just don't, I don't get that. I never got that. That's why I never liked porn. Because when it was a man and a woman, I ain't really like that shit. Now, I had Deep Throat because Deep Throat was a trip. It was kind of funny. Because she could get the dick in her throat. Motherfucker had to get the dick in the throat, and that was the way that made her come. But even that was, it's like, how many times I can watch that shit, But that's what Deep Throat was about. Her clit was in her throat. So the motherfucker had to hit her throat, for her to explode. Linda Lovelace. One time that was the most spread video in the world. I don't know if it still is, but at one time it was the biggest video ever. I don't know what that flavor is, but it smells good. Yeah, y'all hip to Linda Lovelace. And the other one was Debbie Does Dallas. That was the other movie. Debbie Does Dallas, where they was fucking in this store. I don't know if it was a set, but they was fucking in the store. But that, how long ago that is? That's like damn near 40-some years ago I'm talking about. Couldn't tell you the last, you see boobs in a movie or something. That's about the sense of me seeing some boobs is in a movie or on TV in a movie. That's where I see boobs, but just to get on the phone and I never been into that. Never been into that. Yeah, it's a bunch of weirdos. Each his own. It's a bunch of weirdos. But the kinkiest I want to get, like Richard Pryor said, honey, run around the house 3 times, and then the 3rd time I'm gonna jump out the house on you. That's about the kinkiest I'm gonna get. I'm coming out the 2nd floor. I'm try not to kill you by landing on you, but be ready. Have it open. That's about the extent of my kink. Now there's other niggas that I don't even get no thrill out of 2 women. I don't get that. That ain't for me. That really ain't for me, but to each his own. But we see where debauchery got just one young man, and he got the whole industry wondering who's coming after him. But again, it ain't like they didn't know what was going on. I mean, you look at Hollywood. I mean, Fatty Arbuckle stuck a Coke bottle up a girl and killed her. And I think he got off. I don't think he didn't go, he got off. But he stuck a Coke bottle up a girl and killed her. And got off. So the debauchery's been going since then. What is it's a British actress that's kind of the Marilyn Monroe, but like her stories. And she wrote a book on, what goes on in Hollywood. Deborah, what is her name? Let's see if I can think of her name. This chick was bad back in the day, but she's talking about, she was, talked about all the, what she had to do. See her name, be easier to pull up. Let me see, what is this chick's name? Maybe here. I ain't seeing it. I thought I just had one for her. See what this chick, where if I can find her. Because I can find her on the phone and I can find her. But this chick is bad. I mean, if y'all ain't never seen this white chick, this chick is bad. But I have to find her. I can't remember her name. But she's an English Marilyn Monroe-like chick. I can't think of her name. They must be knowing I'm looking for her because there's a picture of Marilyn Monroe. Let's see. Where would she be? That's all. Huh. Don't think here. I don't know. I don't remember her name. Let's see. Nah, because she's a white girl. Show me. Let's see if this will bring it up. Oh, this is just makeup and shit. But I can't think of this British chick's name. But this British chick was bad. Usually she pops up. I don't know if y'all know Law and Order, that chick from Law and Order. This is her mama, Jane Macefield. She got the bullet bra. But her daughter plays on that Law and Order. That's her mama. Her mama did some soft porn. Where's this chick? Is this her? Not Jane Mansfield. No. It's funny how it's just beautiful people throughout the years. Like you can see a woman from the 20s or 30s that was just bad, you know. Della, here she is. I knew I'd find her. Let me see. They gonna show more pictures of her though. It's the only one they got. Let's see if there's more. Huh. That's the only one they're showing me. I don't know. This chick was bad. This chick right here. Deanna Doors. I can't believe they don't have more pictures of her. No, this is Vimy. No, this ain't her. This the only one I could find is this picture of her. This chick was bad. Let's see if I can find my save. Let me see if they'll give me more of Deanna Doors. I didn't want the shit saved. I want to see more pictures of her. Ah, here is this chick. Look at this chick. I know this is a European girl, but I mean, there's some women that just are badder than other women. I mean, it's just, they are. Now, I've showed sisters and I'm saying, well, you're just like white girls. Nah, my wife. But even when she was old, this is how she looked as an old lady. Look at her as an old lady. But her book tells about all the debauchery that she had to go through, orgies and shit, when she was young. See, even as an old lady, she didn't look bad. And they killed her. They killed this lady. Yeah, see, she has a biography. And they killed this lady. She was on all the talk shows. She was very intelligent for what she went through. I mean, she went through a lot. But this lady was bad. How long I've been going? Okay. This lady was kind of bad. Deanna Doors. And, you know, I never heard about her. I was just looking through this shit. You know, it's like, oh, okay. Now, you know what they say about Marilyn Monroe? Because there's a couple facts about Marilyn Monroe. Some people say Marilyn Monroe was a dude. That's what some people say. That Marilyn was a dude. Because we know Marilyn wore hair plugs. We know she wore hair plugs. Let's see. I'll show you. Yeah, Marilyn Monroe wore hair plugs. And I don't mean, you know, I mean like, let's see if I find that other picture of Marilyn Monroe. But she wore hair plugs. Oh, no, there's no more pictures of her. Let's see. This might be some. Okay. Yeah. Let me show you this. Why this could be a man. All right. This picture right here, all this hair is added hair. All this hair in the front is added hair. And they were saying this person was kind of going bald. But that look like an Adam's apple to you? And then when they get old, they start looking harder. When they get old, they start looking harder. And here she's probably only 36, but we know most of this up here is fake. This is all added in. So look at how hard she looks there. So that's, some people say she's the first tranny. Or that they made the first tranny they made popular. And again, here's an older picture of her. Their looks get harder as they get older, not softer. And it's Dorothy Dandridge, of course. She was bad. She was a very bad chick, You wish you could go back in time and save her. It's like, how could I save Dorothy? Be with me, Dorothy. Yeah, she was bad. Donna Dorr. Donna Dorr was her name. Yeah, that chick was kind of righteous, y'all. How do I integrate? Because I wanna integrate. I want to integrate a. Let's see. How do I want to say that? I want to integrate readings too. So I'm trying to figure out how I want to integrate it. So today is. Just do it, motherfucker. Oh, right here. So in the Mayan calendar, today's date is 13 Batuns, 0 Katuns, 12 Tunes, 1 Yuno, 6 Kin. And so that means it would be day 6, which is Kimi. And another name of Kimi is also death. Is another name for it. And now in these Mayan calendar, they put Kimi because they show Chakchakan, which is a translation to Kimi, but they translate it to the lovers. So that's what today is the lovers. Okay. Or day 6. Again, day 6. So the lovers present the fool with the intricacies of relationship and force him to examine love. He must also examine choice. For this is a card of choosing. The man stands under the canopy, protected by the known, by the craft of the priest. The woman stands under the stars, open to their influence and to the influence of the unknown. The lovers are caught in the web of image and reality. The mirror they hold is dark and clouded and affords no view of each other. Yet they point into it. This card indicates a closeness of the ultimate aim of the fool's journey. It displays a harmony of the inner and outer life. It indicates inspiration, which leads to love. The lovers are the last stage of the fool's progression through the spiritual realm. They present him with a complex array of information and comprehend that must give him undivided attention. The fool's task is here to heal the division within himself. Okay? He stands sheltered from the woman within himself, within him, from the things he has learned from the priest within him, from his culture. From the canopy, by the canopy overhead, he is man, the name giving animal. By naming, he separates, creating an immense, unbridgeable chasm between himself and the world of the Nagal. I see, he says, I understand. I will not name, poor fool. This is not the answer. How will you ask your way when you are lost? If you do not name, the fool has made a world of things and he is trapped. Caught between the two faces of the world, the fool is caught in the tonal, the world of form, the world he has made. He yearns for another world. He searches for another world and tries to name it. In doing so, he destroys it. The mind cannot be used to break the hold of the mind. It is only when there is no distance between himself and the world that the fool can perceive the world as it is. It is only when he has given up the struggle to see the scene takes place. The fool has only one lot of energy available to him. He may use it to struggle or he may use it to see. When seeing takes place, it is the woman speaking. She doesn't care about the fool's use of names. She has no need for his labels. For the world takes place in the moment. These are two worlds within the head of the fool, two words he must bridge. The brain has two parts, left and right. The left hemisphere controls the active mind, contains by intellectualized center as well as the speech form. It could also be called the RA tonal or masculine brain. The right hemisphere is little understood. Well, it comes in your intuition, your psychic stuff comes from the right side. That's why you got to turn the right side of your brain up. It can be called the intuition of the feminine brain. Our society has put great importance on the masculine side, heavily suppressed the feminine side. Not until the fool has found the balance within himself would be manifested in society which he belongs. Society's reflection from a conglomerate of all the tiny parts that go to make it up. He has no life of its own. The fool discovers that he can change. He can change without choosing. Choice is only possible where there is confusion, when there is involvement with opposites, when there is seen, there is no choice. When it is seen, it cannot be relationship. Relationship exists between two opposites, the one who gives and the one who takes, the speaker and the listener, the lover and the one loved. It all becomes clear and there is no separate scene. Is action which love. The triangle is built at last. The lesson of the consort is fruit. The ruler's name is understood. Neem is the Maya word for ruler. It has two other meanings, mediator and mirror. The ruler integrated person reflects which is below that to above, and that which is above to that below. As below as above as below. The fool has become lover of himself. He stands in awe and wonder before the extraordinary creature he is, but he must also engage himself, for the journey has just really begun. Oh, I left the light on. Damn. Oh, let's see these little shorts. The mirror of love is blind. If you are a metaphor of the universe, the human couple is a metaphor par excellence, the point of intersection of all forces, of all the seed of all the forms. The complete time is recaptured, the return of time before time. In life, we all have an unspeakable secret, an irreversible regret, an unreachable dream, and unforgettable love. I am tired, beloved, of chafing my heart against the one of you, of squeezing into this little ink drops and posting it. And I scald alone here under the fire of the great moon. Have you ever been in love? Hasn't? Horrible, isn't it? It makes you feel so vulnerable. It opens your chest, it opens your heart, and it means that someone can get inside of you and mess you up. You can give them a piece of you. They didn't ask for it. It is a soul hurt, a real get inside you tip, tear you apart, and some hate love. So that's a way of looking at it. Again, if you look at the journey, and they call it the fool's journey, if you look at, what tarot is, and you look at the steps you have to take to be whole. And see, I don't think that quite can be told in regular playing cards, the steps that it takes to be whole. At least my interpretation, you can't. That's why the tarot is so good, because it gives you steps to take, to be whole. And it's a very simple practice. It's a very simple practice to see if you can learn something about yourself. Now, there's a lot of scammers out there, but what I love is there's a lot of sisters that know these cards by heart and know the meanings. I'm pretty good at reading the meanings and then interpreting, but to say I know the meanings off the top of my head, I would be disingenuous, but because I don't quite. But I can interpret them pretty well once I do see the words and how it applies to a given person. And so this is just kind of a general reading. It's just saying that, look at what you can make. And like Bomber will say, he'll say wholeness. Well, look at how you can make yourself whole. I mean, wholeness comes from not just one thing. It comes from your whole influence. Like everything you influence, that's what you want to be whole in. And like when I say what pimping is really nothing more than getting people to kind of do your will. Like you may not be the boss, but if you can suggest and people do what you suggest, that's pimping. Has nothing to do with sex trafficking. It's a style. It's a way of life, but it is also it has a very literate part of it as well. And it's being able to convince people to do your will. That's nothing more, nothing less. You know? So this is just saying that, and then, you know, we're going into the full moon on Friday. So, my thing is somebody out there that, you know, you need to try to be whole, but yet look at the mirror of reflection to see, you know, what you need to add to yourself. So, again, it's not always for everyone. Now, in the Toltec cards, number 6, the real name of it is Moscato, but it's also I'm on number 3. Number 6 is also the death card. And in the Mayan week, the death card comes up twice. So death is just another step of the days. It does not mean you die forever. It's just a step into the days. And so when you look at that, every 3 or 4 days, death is coming, it's not a finite thing to be afraid of like they teach you. Again, in the Mayan world, the day that meant death comes up twice. And so here's the card. Oh, okay. And that means that dash and that 1 means 6. And death is one of the most important sacred symbols for the Toltec. Its implication for the entire culture was deep and wide. The awareness of the impermanence of life at the core of their philosophy, development because their internal quest to achieve knowledge and permanent truth. The only certainty they found was the certainty of death. The ancient Toltec seers realized that death was the only certainty that we could have in life, and that there was no way around to avoid it. They decided to embrace their awareness in order to nurture it in a greater appreciation of life. Life is much more precious for the one who knows they're going to die. Hesitation, blame, guilt, fate, remorse, procrastination, many other energy-wasting feelings attribute to those powers when we realize this life is one chance in eternity. There's no time to waste complaining or blaming. No regrets. There's no time to live full. There's only time to live as fully as possible. The awareness of death becomes a boost of energy that pushes us to be purposeful lives and be more consistent with our path and with our heart. Another aspect of the Toltec awareness is death, that they saw it not as something isolated, but always as something connected with the other side of the sacred duality with life. Life and death are partners in the magical task of keeping, because the minute you are born, you start to die. Yes, you're growing, but you're also dying, because, that's what it is. Getting bigger to die. It's a real change. Viewed as this way, death doesn't mean annihilation, but renewal. It is the celebration of what comes to an end in order to something else to begin. Humanity in general has always been obsessed with death, but unlike other Western cultures, the ancient Toltec didn't fall into rejection, denial relationship with death. On the contrary, they considered death to be sacred and chose it for a place of honor among their sacred principles and deities. The honoring of death continues today among the surviving tradition of Mexico, where the Day of the Dead is now time for grief. It is not a time for grief and pain, but a time of joy and celebrating life. Every region of Mexico has its own special way to celebrate the holy death. But the image of the card we see in death watching the human beings through an instrument called a tulungzi, which is used to calculate the movement of the celestial objects in the sky, passing time and therefore the duration of life. However, death is seated on a red throne, which symbolizes the renewal of life, meaning that the death is not the enemy of life, but a proprietary partner. In the Toltec Oracle, the death card does not represent misfortune, but on the contrary, the opposite for evaluation and transcendence. The time of renewal has come. Something has reached the end of its time, and it's time to let it go and embrace something new. Cycle has been completed. What's used to give you life is now not giving it to you anymore. You should move on to the next stage. Don't hesitate. Keep hanging around. So what this card really means for anybody out there that you know it came up to be the 6, and the 6 is for you, is it means it's, you know, whatever you did is done. Now maybe a relationship's done, maybe you completed a task. So whoever that message is for, you know, I give freely to you to you know, I hope it's helpful, but that's what it is. You know, it's the completion of something just completed for you. Something new is about to start. So let it go, complete it. Or if someone needs to do something, you procrastinating, get it done. Get it done. Today is a perfect day for you. It lines up for the star for you to get it done and turn it in or get it done. Even work around the house, you know, whatever is some task, whoever has a task to do, tomorrow or today is the time to get it done. So if you are doing tasks right now and if something needs to be done, you know, when you get done watching me, finish the task up, you know, but that's what it is. So these are just two different interpretations of, you know, what to kind of expect tomorrow. That's all. So I take the melatonin, and the nigga can't be sleeping, but I take this shit and I sleep like a motherfucker because it helps. But it's like we don't really, you know, clearly want to know what's happening next. We only, you know, want to know a little bit of what's happening next because we still, you know, we've got our gut, intuition, you know, all these things still play a part in our everyday movement. So all these things is what we do to move through. And we each have intuition. You know, if you got children, you know the children lying because something inside of you tell this little motherfucker ain't telling the truth. Or even, you know, coworkers telling stories and shit, and you know they lying. You know, it's your intuition, your knowing tells you that they lying. And so we use, you know, these minor supernatural abilities all the time. So it's nothing wrong with tapping into things that can help you supernaturally. Let me see. Like real people take their cards with them all the time, and it's like sometimes I'll carry my pendulum. Sometimes I take it to the lake over there where I walk. See, it's just giving off natural energy. I ain't swinging the shit. It's just it's feeling probably the energy of all these other crystals, so it's moving to it. And this can give you answers. This can find shit. You can walk around the house to try to find shit with this thing. It's pretty good with that. Can you move opposite? These motherfuckers is funny too. Like, move opposite. Come on, move counterclockwise. There it goes. Okay, you're moving slow as hell counterclockwise, but you're still doing it. All right, now move back the other way. Move clockwise. Now it's just like, fuck that. I did one trick for you, buddy. I'm not doing no more. But I mean, little things like these where, you know, it's little charts, then you can get these to work on them. But it's like people that carry this stuff all the time, you know. So they're always practicing their magic. And, you know, I always carry crystals all the time too, you know, especially shungite. And I carry, what is that called? It slipped me, but I carry Olmec figures with me all the time. One of my Olmec figures, I kind of broke the little leg off. The piece has got to be in here somewhere. I didn't throw it away. Where's the little piece at? I hope I didn't throw it away. Thought I saved it. Not seeing it up here. Oh, there it is. Serpentine. A minute I touched it, so yeah, it broke the little piece off. So I got to see if I can get it back on there. But serpentine. Put it in here so it doesn't get knocked around. So, you know, I work with this stuff, and this stuff works with me. It's like everything in this room has a purpose, you know. Everything. This Pikachu. Forget what the fox is called. I've had these since 15. I've had these little things for 9 years. I don't know if they're collectibles or not. I bought them from, what's it called? The Bear Palace, the Bear Place where they build a bear. I bought those from Build-A-Bear when they first came out. I think it was 14 or 15. So I've had those little things for 9 or 10 years. I was like, maybe I'm going to sell them. I'm going to look and see what they're worth. They probably ain't worth shit. But I don't think they make them at Build-A-Bear anymore. They always come up with new shit. Remember that shit first came out, it'd be the line be packed and, you know, you're going to come out of that motherfucker spending damn near $100. You know, get it the little dresses, the little outfits. It's like, what was it called? American Doll. I don't know if y'all had those. I think it's out of business now. But we had American Doll with 2 floors. And American Doll was like you could get a doll any color. So you could get a doll that was the shade of your child. So it wasn't just all European looking dolls. It was dolls of every shade. And now, you know, you can get a Boquisha. What does Nick and Slay say? Boquisha. You can get a doll that look like Boquisha now at Target. Target made their own version of American Doll, and you can get all the houses. My daughter still probably got all that shit. The kitchen, the trailer. You know, somebody gave. My mother bought her a doll with hair like hers, and you know her complexion. But it used to be 2 floors at the Mall of America, 2-floor store. Now it's gone. So I don't think they exist anymore. And you know, it's interesting, like now, like with action figures, you know, that was a really great way to practice your imagination. I owe a lot of my imagination to when I had little action figures, the early G.I. Joes. You know, I was the generation where the G.I. Joes were sold to us. Said before, you know, I can go to where I got the toys on Pinterest, you know, and I had the first Johnny West, I think is his name. And the first one I got was, I should have kept it because it was in pieces. It wasn't put together. They just put the pieces in the box. You know, somebody was trifling in the motherfucker, probably assembly line going fast. He's like, fuck these pieces, just send the box off. Nobody would know it. So, you know, Christmas, I got, you know, I'm like thinking this sweet doll, and no, it's pieces of a doll. So they just gave us another one and let us keep the pieces, and I probably threw it away. But it'd probably be worth something today. It's like, look at this. These motherfuckers shipped this shit without putting it together. I'm from the first generation of when the Mr. Potato Head started, it was just a potato. It wasn't a real. The first potato I had was it came with a potato. And you did it, and then you switched potatoes. That was how it first came out. It came with a potato. And then you put all the nose and ears and shit on the potato. And then, you know, when the potato go, you get a new potato. And then later they came out with that plastic thing that you put all the parts in. But the first year, I must have been 4. Yeah, I think that first Mr. Potato Head was that first Christmas, or when we moved with my stepfather. So I must have been about 4 when that came out. And then I think 5 or 6, they bought me the other kind. So, but it helped with imagination. And that's the problem with the phones is, you know, the children and us, we don't get to use our imagination that much. Like today, you know, I turned on music and it's like, to me, what I've learned recently out of all the things is like, you should listen to jazz or classical music every day. And most people are not going to want to listen to classical music, but you should listen to just instrumentals some part of your day. It does something to your vibration. It does something to your well-being. Now my wife says it gets her a little oppressive, she says she can't follow. It's too much going on at once. It's hard for her to follow. But I am convinced that listening to jazz every day helps me. You know, it helps my vibration, it helps my well-being, listening to these instrumentals. Now, I've always talked about listening to R&B music and what that does for you. I mean, listening to, you know, the harmonics of love music and how positive love music is. And that's one argument you have to say if you look at, you know, great music that we produced as a people is, you know, love music of the 50s, 60s, and 70s is like, you know, that is like some of the most highest vibrational music you could ever listen to. I mean, what this does to you, what this can do for you. I mean, this is great. There's nothing else like that. Like right now, it's songs I get my Kundalini just, you know, I'm full scaly, you know how when you get the bumps, goosebumps, you know, it makes you scaly like reptilian. Well, it's I get that fully listening to love music. And that raises your love meter, it raises your vibration. And I think, almost everybody can. Now, I ain't saying this for all the time. I mean, there's workout music wherever you want to get more pumped. But I'm saying if you look at your well-being, listening to instrumental music every day will help your well-being. And so it's so much to pick from. Music is what did he say? What did Quincy Jones say on his documentary? Music is 12 notes. I mean, it's funny as you get older and you listen to so much music, you hear like now, it's like where did the sample come from? But as I listen to these just all instrumental music, I hear other people, and I'm like, okay, he took a little bit of this from here, a little bit of that from there. And so that's what I did meditate. Sometimes I meditate to music, and I meditated for about 2 hours I think I used 2 different albums. I played Coltrane front back, which is about probably a half hour, 45 minutes. And then I played Curtis Mayfield front and back. And, really concentrating on hearing. Now, Curtis Mayfield is it's just kind of a mixture because he has some where it's just instrumental, especially on Superfly. I think one is called Interlude, but it's like he gives you a little bit of both. And it's like I like sitting there because it's like even though I'm hearing the music and thinking about the music, my mind is totally clear. It's like when I tell myself, man, I want to hear the bass. There's nothing else going on in my mind but trying to find the bass out of the music. Or if I want to hear the alto sax, I can just concentrate on hearing that individual. And I think of nothing else. There's no other thoughts to my head. Because a lot of times when you meditate, it's, I've said before, thoughts. Right? But when you listen to good music, and that's what I love about the car. The cars had the tweeters in them now. My last 2 cars has tweeters. And even though it's electric music, it's still, you hear all the highs and the lows. Like my car system is way better than my house system. I'm hearing all those tweeters. Oh, I got my ride back today. We took it in, and all they really did is flushed my transmission fluid. So it was acting a lot better. But it was funny driving the newer version of my car, and it's like my son said I didn't have a turbo on, but he's a lying motherfucker. That car had the 2024 with the 4-liter turbo 275. I think my car is 265 horsepower, I think. But my car is a V6, and my car has a way more takeoff. Now, as I said the other day, this car, the 24, had the steering system was better. Definitely, my car is very torque steer. It's like, it like when I was driving the Taurus, or even when we drive the X5, when it hits the corner, it eats that corner up. But not that Acura. That Acura don't eat corners up. It's like you got to really be on it. Driving a Nissan was the first time I ever experienced that torque steer. So it doesn't lay in the corner. That Ford, that Taurus, that's why I might get another Taurus. I want an old Cadillac, but I still might get me a SHO Taurus. I don't know. It's something about having a car. They're still fun, and they're not that expensive. Even if I don't, just the leather one with a sunroof would be good enough. I don't really need a fast one. So if I get another one, I might just get one, with a leather and a sunroof. Get it for $5-6 grand. Them cars run forever, as long as you get the water pumps fixed. So, master of persuading. And so, it's like you should be having a good time. Life should be, fun, challenging, all that. And it's funny, like when you retire and don't work, the interesting thing about it is that, the days don't mean as much. You see the falseness of the weekend. The OJ's had a song called Living for the Weekend, and then they create something to make you feel good during the week called Hump Day. Only 2 days left and then the weekend. And you see that it's really just a mental thing that all the days is the same. It's just you ain't got to work them 2 days. But it's really the same. It's an illusion. Life still goes on, but you ain't got these chores to do, these group of things to do. But when you don't really work, it's the same. It's all the same, you know. I mean, you still follow weather and all that because you got to travel, but it's like the way you look at days is so different. And my mother says the same thing. Spent about 2 hours with my mother yesterday just reminiscing. You know, it's just funny. It's funny, like, you know, I got to start taping her because it's like you talk to your parents and you think you know everything about them, and then they tell you a story like, I've never heard this story before. It's like the time my mother met Malcolm X. The lady who played Miss Loretta on what is it called? Damn, really, I'm old man. And on Sesame Street, there it is, on Sesame Street. She was engaged to Malcolm's brother, and it was my mother's friend, and Malcolm and all his brothers that was alive at the time, they all came, and my mother got to meet Malcolm. So this is a story I'd never heard as a boy growing up. She's like, oh yeah, I got to meet him and all his brothers. Then she told me a story the other day about, because my father's senior year, she was pregnant with me. So my father like graduated in June. I was born later June, and then they got married in July. So my father's only 18. Well, actually 17 and some months. No, he's 18 and some months older than me. So it's not terribly older than me. As you get grown, you know, that's not terribly older. I got that feeling when I'm digging through files or crates making beats. My Maxima hugs in the corners. I feel something kicking when I'm driving. Oh, okay. You got a Maxima. Ooh, very nice. Very nice. Yeah, I mean, that BMW got them dampers in it. You know, it's got an active system. So that BMW will hit, like we hit you know how construction be kind of uneven. Man, I swear that BMW had one side, it lowered one side, and the other side was normal. Or maybe it raised the other side because I could just feel that damper kick in. Because I hit the corner and I felt it, like the car lean a little bit. I was like, oh shit, this shit is like, you know, Cadillacs would float on the road. That was the coolest thing about old Cadillacs. Even the fucking North Star engines, when the cars work, they float, you know, and they had that adaptive suspension, you know. They can fuck up though, so most people swap that out. But the newer stuff, like our stuff, we need. I think we need a strut on one side, but it's you know, it's a minor thing. I think it's only gonna cost about $500 to fix. So something minor that will end up getting fixed. So yeah. But cars are fun. Cars are fun. It's a nice hobby. It's nice cleaning them. You know, everything that's on a car comes from this earth. So everything, and it has its own energy in its own way. You know, I don't know if you guys ever heard of, some people say that Edsel Ford did something. He put a part on a car, and the part was supposed to resonate with the person. Like, you know, he had made a part that had no connection to making the car function, but the way he explained it was the part was put on to resonate with the owner of the car. So I forget what it was called, but it was a part in the engine, and that was his explanation of why it was there, because everything on the car does come from Earth. And I've told the story, you know, the troll in the bridge, and I've told you, you know, think about the only times, you know, when you drive that motherfucker, ain't no gas in it, but it gets you where you need to go. Or there's something wrong with it, and you'd be like, hey, you know, I'm gonna take care of it, but you need to get me here. And how many times the car gets you there? Like we were coming back home 2 years ago in a snowstorm, and we had a run flat tire that had a hole in it. I mean, it had a big hole in it about this big, and it had goo coming out of it, and that motherfucker got us home. You know, and I mean, we were able to go highway speed on it. So run flats is some bad motherfuckers, because most BMWs got run flats on them. Run flats is some bad motherfuckers, a hole this big. And that motherfucker held until we changed it the next day. We end up getting both cars. We got new tires for both cars. But we had to get another run flat. So, you know, you don't just get one, you had to get a couple. But that motherfucker held in a snowstorm. Didn't have us fishtailing or nothing. That motherfucker, BMW all-wheel, whatever they call their all-wheel system, that motherfucker still bit with that big hole in that tire on a run flat tire. So, but I mean, it's just the energy, you know. the energy. You can create the energy where, this thing will help you. That's why, washing your car, putting gas in it. These are gestures that keep the car alive. And so, you wash it because, it's the same thing like when you take care of your yard. You be connected to it by taking care of it. Putting your hands in the dirt. You be connected to the yard. That's why they say, you touch dirt or put your feet in the dirt, you ground. So, oh, you want another Beamer? Oh man, I think I told the story. We had to take the X5 in, and they gave us a 24. What is it? 530. It was the 5 Series. We had that a month or so ago, and we got work because we had to get some work done on the X5, and so they gave us it was a 24 5 Series. And that motherfucker, this Acura was okay, this RDX 24, but that motherfucker was fun to drive. You hit it in that bitch, you talking about that motherfucker eating corners. That motherfucker ate corners nice. Yeah, that car was real fun to drive. The X5, the 5 Series BMW, we had that for about 3 or 4 days. And that motherfucker, boy, that car was driving sweet. That was a fun car to drive. Like this car, I saw where it was better than my car, but it wasn't like $50,000 better than my car. You dig? To me, it wasn't that, to put that much money in it. To me, it just didn't seem worth it. That BMW that was only, I think it was 68,000 was like, yeah, this should be a consideration. That's a lot of bread that could go into a house. And the car loses interest, the house gains interest. So, but cars are fun, cars are fun, whatever you drive, appreciate it. That's all, I had cars that you could only drive around the little town in Michigan, Battle Creek. One time I drove it to Detroit. It putted me all the way to Detroit. I bought a car from a crackhead that I ended up putting 1,000 miles on it because I had to go back and forth to Detroit every day. Because they was paying me mileage too. So shit, when I turned that shit in, I think I only spent maybe $150 in gas for the whole week, I think. And they gave me a check like $700-800 for great gas. I turned in all my receipts and shit, but because they charge per mile and stuff, the check came to be something like $700-800 when I only spent $150. So that was a good deal. But that little crackhead car got me back and forth. That was a Toyota, like maybe a Tercel, something like that. It was a small one. The windshield wipers, I had to rig it where, I had to have a little pole where I was making them go or couldn't go nowhere because the windshield wipers didn't work. And luckily that week I went to Detroit, the motherfuckers worked. Actually, I went to Wixom. Wixom is where they build the Fords, the Lincolns. Excuse me, not Fords, but Lincolns. The whole Wixom, Michigan is where they put the Lincolns together. So you drive by the plant. It was a GM plant we was on for the training. So we came from the plant, and we went by the Lincolns. So, but it's funny, the way people are perceiving the future. It's like the same people that perceive the future. It's like people are almost in a mindset as we're pre-Holocaust times. That's how people are coming off right now. People are literally coming off like the Holocaust is about to come. And this is going to be 4 years, actually 2 and 2. If you really break down the government, it's going to be 2 and 2. 2 years, everything could change if they take back I think it's only the Congress is running 2 years. We just had Senate, so it's good for 6 years. But the Congress is going to be in midterms in 2 years. So that easily and that quick of a time, the opposite party could turn things around if they wanted or block them from going ahead. Now, what can happen in the next 2 years? It ain't going to be Holocaust. But I'll say this. I was thinking this is real. The amount of melanated folks that backed Harris is almost embarrassing. It's almost embarrassing. You backed a person in roughly 70 days. They gave you something And so many people backed it with everything they knew. In only 70 days. First, you have your allegiance to one person. And then you so easily, without the process at all, the process that has went on every time somebody runs, you just like, fuck that process. Joe kept it too long and you can have it. And it only took people 70 days to give everything they had. Black men, black women. 80, almost 90% on both charts. I think men, it was 89%. Women, it was like 93, 94%. And you know, like, and if you look at like how people look at this and what's in the air, it's like everybody don't feel like, the majority of people don't feel like you. That's really what it came out to be. The majority of people don't feel like what you picked. And the only way you know how to deal with it is through fear, not understanding that you've been through the process before. But I get that what's in the air also is this like, why were you swayed so easy? And what should be the consequences for being swayed so easy? Again, to give you know, and like you even look at Obama. If you look at the last 16 years, the Democrats have been in power. 16 years they've been in power. Excuse me. Out of 16 years, they've been in power 12. 12 out of the last 16 years, the Democrats have been in power. You had 8 years of Obama, you had 4 years of Trump, and you had 4 more years of Biden. Now, what did Obama give us? Bailed the banks out, bailed the car companies out. But yet they set the things up that hurt these industries. Unchecked, letting the banks go unchecked. And then let's never forget, Biden shut the country down. I know my wife would argue with me that it was necessary. I never slowed down. I did get sick. I ain't go to the hospital sick. I ain't never get that sick. I personally don't know anybody that died from that shit. Now, my wife does. Friends, they know. My friend, one of his friends did pass from it. So I'm not saying it didn't exist, but I don't think it's quite as deadly as what they say. And it was also, something that killed a lot of elderly people, or made a lot of elderly people pass. So, we went through that. And that was under a Democrat. And then we come out of it and we go into straight inflation. We go from prices being the lowest they'd ever been to straight inflation. And that's what hurt Harris. Harris couldn't talk against her boss when she said, "What are you going to change?" Well, what could she really say? What could she really say? And when they ask her, "Why aren't you doing it now?" all she could say is, "There's still more work to be done." That's her only thing she could say. Still more work to be done. And so, it's funny, like all the people, all the brothers and sisters that put their energy into Harris, it's like, what did you get for it? It's like you're really getting nothing out of it. And now you're playing a victim. And you want everybody else to be a victim. My son was talking about he's going to move out of America. Talk about he doesn't want to live under fascism. Well, fascism is definitely when the businesses are in charge of the country. That's what fascism is. The businesses. That's what Hitler had. You had a leader. A leader was in charge of everything. The businesses and everything, but mostly business. Not like a dictator or a king. More a business-driven leader that's going to handle every aspect of business. And that's what fascism is. And we see it only lasted, 10, 12 years? Didn't last very long. Well, I think if he wouldn't have attacked other people, it probably could have lasted longer. But so is that going to happen here in America? Didn't happen today. Not going to happen tomorrow. Now, can things change that quick? It's very doubtful. Our guards and police going to be out there, you know? I mean, what the challenges is Trump's going to have is like he wants to do more border. They need people down there to work the borders. That's the biggest problem they're going to have down there, is working and trying to work the border. Oh, shit. Okay. Sorry. That it? Yeah, I think, no. Let's see. No, it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. And so that's going to be what the problem is. And then when you say you want to deport a lot of people that pay taxes and do jobs that brothers and sisters and Europeans just don't want to do anymore. And it doesn't seem like, no matter how the economy is, it's like the Europeans and the brothers and sisters ain't going in them fields. Now, maybe there's some, but it doesn't seem like in wide numbers, Europeans is rushing to them fields and brothers and sisters is rushing to them fields and trying to make that a livelihood. You're just not seeing it in numbers. We ain't trying to do that kind of work anymore. And so there's somebody does have to do that kind of work and enjoy it. Let me show you how to do it. Do it this way. This would be better for you. This would be better for you. Just comedy, just joking, y'all. Not trying to offend anybody. And it's like, you know, like when I say pimping too, it's like we can pimp the beast and we can get the beast to do our bidding for it. Because it's like, just like looking at pictures and then boom, you know, the beast makes it show up. You know how that kind of thing is, that the phone is listening all the time. So we pimp the beast too. We get the beast do shit for us. It's the same thing, you know, it's like what the Europeans wanted you to believe, that you got to circle this demon and then you got to rope it. Well, we found out that ain't really true. These is just ancestors, the energies of the Americas that would work with us. So this energy just works with us to help us fight the beast. And that's the thing, is at certain points, you know, you ain't even got to fight this thing. Like, no matter what it puts out there, you like, you get it all to work for you. And that's the biggest thing I preach, is you pimp all of it. And again, pimping is nothing more than getting others to do your bidding. You ain't got to be the boss to get everybody to do what you want done. You ain't got to be the boss to do it. You should have your game so tight where you just suggest shit and everybody's like, hey, let's do it that way. It'd be better for you. Okay, I know. But I mean, that's the true of how to get along and take advantage of this reality. It's to understand it. And that's why phasing is the best thing I can tell you. It's like you phase back and forth between the veil and between the now. You know that the veil is there, and sometimes you need to use it. So sometimes I'll go behind the veil and the fakeness and be involved. And then other times I can just sit back and lucidly dig it and know, like, wow, I'm just, okay, I see this is some bullshit. Yeah, this is some fake bullshit at that. These probably ain't even real people around me. This shit looks so fake. I mean, that's what you have to see. And that's how to get around all this, is not to try to fight it, but to finesse it. Finesse it. That's the best way, is to finesse it. Work with everything that you can work with. I mean, if the God thing is working for you, and it's the real energy and the real love of what something like that would be, then, you know, I can't tell you how to do it for you. But make sure when it goes to religion thing, just realize and find the trueness of it. Because the problem with religion is it's a lot of fake on the top of it. and you think you believe in something that is, it's not what you believe in is not really what's running it. I mean, Muslims, like that Muslim brother was speaking, you know, they ain't gonna never tell you that what is it, the Kabbalah, that Allah was just one of many idols that was in the Kabbalah. You know, where Jesus went and threw everything up, you know, the change, the money changers. Well, that's it. I think that's at the same place where Jesus went. And they had all these different idols. And one idol was called Allah. So it wasn't like there wasn't other idols of it. So you have to find you have to find the purity of what it is. You have to peel all the onions, all the fakeness from it, and find the love in the center of all that, of what this would be. Because this world is we see what love gives us. And so if you can find that love in religion, then, you know, I'm not knocking nobody. That works for you. You can make that work for you. A player seduces a woman's body. A pimp seduces a woman's mind. And Mac, real man, seduces a woman's mind, heart, and body. Yeah. And you can put those philosophies in beating this system too. That's all. You just got to plug in the verbiage of how to beat this system, of what it is. And that lesson there is just showing you, you know, you how you work with the masculine and feminine, but you try to get it to do what you need to be done. That's all. That's all. And so you pimp life. And then you get the spoils from pimping life. You dig? And you able to be disciplined, because discipline is, you know, it's a discipline is a lot of for success. You got to have a certain amount of discipline. Real game comes from the purity of real work. Is that what you put? Yeah, purity of real work. Yeah, it does. It does. Mm. And, you know, as it's saying, it's inside of you and outside of you at the same time. You know, quantum of science says what he says right is a lot of it is right. It's real and fake at the same time. I mean, a little bit of it is real, but a lot of it could be fake, or a lot could be real and a little fake. It's both. And you have to decipher it. Decipher of what can be used and what cannot be used. It's just like reading these cards. What in that message that I gave can you use? If it's just one sentence I said that you're like, oh, okay, that resonates. Or if that stuck with you, then that part was for you. That's kind of how it works. Or anything I say, you know, if it resonates, a part of what I say resonates for you, you know, I give freely. But that's the message is how, you know, not just describing it, is how to practically go through it. I mean, just describing it of what it is, and you know, that it has to be a lot more than just describing it. You have to start having strategies is actually how to work with it. Because fighting it, you know, like Bomber said something today, it's like you fight a demon and beat the demon, you start taking the traits of the demon. You become the demon by fighting it. And so that goes for, you know, witches doing the same thing. You know, the witches fighting, they fighting it when someone brings that thing up, and they fighting it, you know, that you bonding it. So it's mad at you for bonding it. It's mad at you for bothering it for first of all. When there's a way to the same energy to bring that energy up and deal with it without having to bond it. So thank you for the donation. Swag is a combination of coolness, communication skills, and authentic masculinity. That's that. Thank you, but that's about right. It is. It's like, always walk with your head held high. So many people. This lady, she almost ran into me walking, looking at her phone. And she's going through a parking lot. I had to take my son up to therapy at the hospital and physical therapy. And yeah, this lady, I had forgotten my phone. So I had to go all the way back to the first floor, walk to my car and grab my phone and go all the way back. And by the time I got back, he wasn't there that long. It was only his first day of therapy. But yeah, lady just sitting there, not paying attention. Ran out like I had to twirl. I was like, hey. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't even see you. And it's it's the care that we put into people too. Like hospitals especially. I mean, hospital is an energy sucker too. Let's say what it is. It's that too, but it also can heal. So it's not just one thing. That's why I was trying to teach my son, before you go in the hospital, really you're supposed to do it before any door, but we go through so many doors. But you're supposed to pause before you go through the door, and then you're supposed to pause after, because going through a door is a spell. It is a spell. The way these masons made these doors, they're spells. And so, that's why really, if you go out your front door and then out. That's why I'm glad we go out our garage. We don't go out our front door, but front door especially. When you go through your house, at least that door, pause before you go out. Once you go out, pause again. Same thing when you come in. If you come through a door, I come through a big garage. But yeah, it's some doors there too. But like a hospital, if a hospital has something that looks like a mouth, walk under the beams. Don't walk directly into the hospital. Like when I'm saying, like if hospital got anything built around it and it's a way to walk through it, walk on the side of it where the beams that hold whatever it has up here. If you can. Some hospitals just got main doors, but if they got the kind of thing where you got to walk under something with beams, walk on the side of that shit. Because like 2 of the hospitals I go to both got mouths. I mean, it's clear that these are mouths. I mean, they're mouth shaped, both of them. And so hospitals also, it's a lot of energies, fear, unknowing, it's a lot of that going in the hospital too. So the hospital feeds on that as well. It's also a place of healing, but it's also a place that kind of breeds fear. Fear and failure sometimes too. The wrong shit done to you. Motherfucker put a horse tail on you or something. Like, hey, that was for the horse. That ain't for me, baby. So just a little trick. Just little tricks that like I was telling my mom, my grandmother, my stepfather's mother, she used to I've told this many times, but like when visiting salesmen, walking salesmen, door-to-door salesmen would come by. As soon as they would leave, she's like, go get that salt and pour that salt behind him. I'm like, at first I ain't think nothing about it, but as I, did it a few times, I'm like, oh, this is she doing some magic here. And so even today, I still pour in front of my doors, for my garage. I still now salt for ice, yes, but I still, put that line of salt off. And that movie, The Black Book, he put it around the whole house. And they wasn't supposed to, wasn't it called The Black Book? But they weren't supposed to leave. That's why when that bitch left and she came back and she tried to go in the basement, them demons was on her ass because she broke her protection, if you remember. And she was fooled because she wanted her son to be alive so much or come back from the dead so much. She was fooled, I use real game to inspire men and women to improve the quality of their lives. That bet. Did you see the Ant-Man Adidas that he dedicated to Michael Jordan? They're lows. I have not, but are they the are they, yeah, because you know what, in the commercial he got where he tell the boy to shoot, that he's in the new commercial where I think it's Gatorade or something, and he tells the boy to shoot. Remember, he's like, it's just like throwing it in the trash can, that warm-up suit I got, he's wearing it in that. He's wearing it in that commercial, but let's see. Let's check these out. They black and red. That's what I imagine they are. I'm gonna tell you, them old Jim James Hardings from last year with that rubber toe. Now, I went out there Monday, and somebody had finally bought the 13 of the Hardens, but the 12s was there, and it was people ain't fucking with them. People ain't fucking with them old Hardings. Let me see if this is what it's talking about. Oh, commercials. Gotta end somewhere. Let's see. Oh, here we go. I don't know. I think this is just giving a comparison and roasting the rival brands in there from the beginning while flaunting Air Ones, which is done like the best signature shoe in the NBA. They're calling the AE ones the best signature shoe. I disagree. Them Jordans is a way better shoe. And it was as a receipt machine that basically brings up old tweets and quotes from people. He goes to Carmelo Anthony, had one. He says, "Fuck buddy," after hearing a criticism of camera, and he laughs at the rest of the haters. So what is this? This is
Hey, what's up with the machine though?
That's for my receipts.
Receipts?
Yeah, I hear all the hate.
I won't get in trouble for playing this if it's a fucking
Yo,
commercial.
Ed, Carmelo said, are you committed to really going out there and being the face of the league? Because they throwing that term around too loosely.
Okay.
Cameron said, to me, he's an all-star, but not a superstar yet.
Buddy,
it is what it ain't.
what else they say, Slick?
The most overrated athlete. Oh, this is a good one. Does he real? Receipts?
Yeah, I hear all the hate.
Okay.
Yo, Ed, Carmelo said, are you committed to really going out there and being the face of the league? Because they throwing that term around too loosely.
Okay.
Cameron said, to me, he's an all-star,
Okay, that's the warm-up suit I got. I have that warm-up suit.
but not a superstar yet.
Buddy.
Oh, this is old. Okay, it ain't this one. It ain't this one. That one's old. I think that's old. What is the date on this? I think that's old. That's an old commercial. Yeah, that's an old commercial. Oh, here we go. Where am I? Oh, what my dyslexic ass. Oh, only one T. H-O. Oh. Let's see if this give me something different. No, this is. Let's see, Anthony Edward is. No, I don't think it's this one. This one's not new. Is this 2? Oh, now this is 2. If you guys haven't seen 2, this is 2. They ain't releasing them because the ones he got now are selling better. So they're going to have this in a. Yeah, this is what 2 is going to look like. They're going to have this in a Jordan color. This is the first sample, but this looks different. This part is different. This is different than that other shoe. But you see the same thing Harding got, when they make shoes on the same molds, the shoes start looking alike. So maybe he's coming, maybe this colorway, see, because that don't look like the same shoe. These don't look like that. Well, maybe it's the same shoe, but they put this on there. But it's a rubber shoe. If you like rubber shoes, these are rubber shoes. These Adidas are rubber shoes. Like even my Kobe ones are rubber shoes, So They made for the last design, white, black, and red. Okay, for the last design. Okay. Let's see. I might find that. Yeah, that I'm not seeing any pictures of that. Yeah, I haven't found it. It's not coming up. Oh yeah, this is old. Yeah, I'm not finding it. Wonder if I can get back to that, because that was something different. Let's see. Oh, I took it all away. All right. Oh, merchandise. Here we go. Maybe this is a show. Maybe this will show it. Merchandise. See all images. Just mostly jerseys. Mostly jerseys. Yeah, these don't have the shoes. Huh. I don't know. I keep looking for it. I'm coming back on Friday. Maybe I'll find them. But like he said, they're still like they probably more than likely look like this pair, but black, white, and red. This pair, but black, white, and red. They got it down here. Now see, this is just black and red, but there's probably some white in here. So it's not this shoe. This is older. But it's probably like this, but got somewhere, this is mixed up. This might be white. This might be black. I mean, So there's white in there too. So I can see what he's saying. But I don't see it in here. Yeah, I don't see it in here. They're not very comfortable shoes, I'll tell you that, unless you got insoles. If you got insoles, then they're cool, but if you ain't got insoles, they're not very comfortable. Well, I mean, people are different. The dude who balling on a budget, I mean, he can wear the normal shoes, and I don't think he has insoles. He can just put on a shoe, and not me. My old ass, I gotta have insoles, custom made. Matter of fact, I'm getting another one. I think I can get them every 6 months, but I usually get them once a year, so I'm getting another one February. I think I go see my podiatrist, which has been my foot doctor for 14 years, I think. Like my doctor, my family doctor has been my doctor for over 10. And that goes into having relationships. It's like, how far you can trust them, but it's like when I got sick, I didn't even know it. I called her and said, this is what happened to me. She's like, go to the hospital. Like, I'm okay though. She's like, go to the hospital right now. It's like, oh, okay. Because I felt fine. I had a little episode and I was like, I'm fine. But she was like, no, you're not fine. And turned to be I really wasn't. So they can help you, Yeah, I'll keep looking for them. I'll find them. I end up finding them. I liked it. I got my Ant jersey. But yeah, the Ant warm-up suit is nice. I mean, that shit is baggy. Baggy is kind of coming back in style a little bit. I mean, the straight tight legs been out of style, but baggy is kind of coming back in style. Because I don't mind my sweats being a little loose on me. I don't really mind that. Yeah, I was out to the outlet the other day. Man, they got the Cameo Jordan 3s. That shit is sweet. Maybe those were just for elementary. But they were kind of sweet. It's like they give better shoes to women a lot of times, because of men's shoes. But it's funny, the Evos, the Air Force One Evos, not budging on the price. I think they started at $150 at the outlet. Now, I ran the green pair. There's a lime green pair. That was on sale. But I think that was $180 or $150 with 30% off. And so it came to be the same price as the other one. It wasn't any cheaper because even though the box was cut off, the top was cut off, it still wasn't any cheaper. So it's like, it's funny. Air Force Ones holds their value. You rarely see those discounted at the outlets, the Air Force Ones. they're pretty much discounted or not discounted. Because I just can't see buying, a pair of Air Force Ones when I could save another 75 or $100 and give me some of them brand new LeBrons. He was playing in pink LeBron 22s today, but they got a blue version that is sweet. They got a blue one that I saw, a children's shoe. So I'm pretty sure they're releasing it to adults. And Anthony, the ones they wore weren't, LeBron wore more of a pinkish like one. Anthony Edwards was more yellowish. Was it yellowish this time? His shoe was different from LeBron's, but he was wearing the same ones. His was white. No, his was white, but they ain't the current one. They ain't that ugly one they just released. Because the new LeBrons, the tech is great, but the shoe's ugly. The LeBron 22s, maybe I can show a picture. That shit is ugly. I do not dig that shoe at all. I would not buy that shoe. Not in that colorway. Okay. Where's the 22s at? Oh, here we go. There's a ugly motherfucker. Dick Sports. I think that's what this is. Really? What is going on with Dick Sports? Taking too long. See, I'll see another picture of it. Oh, here it is. Here's maybe another picture. Maybe this is a show. Oh, here we go. This is an ugly ass shoe. This colorway here. This shit is ugly. The tech is probably great, but that's ugly. And maybe this is what Anthony Davis. I don't know. It looked more white in here. I didn't think Anthony Davis' shoe was black like this. I like the design, and you see they did what they did to the 19s, how they separate, that separate piece in there, so you get a separate ball. And I was wearing my Jordan 11s today, and it's like in the Jordan 11s, you could see they was concentrating on keeping the foot stable in the rear. And they weren't really thinking a lot of giving you padding in the rear. You could feel that the way that it was designed is to give you more stability back here. But this gives you, total protection. So the shoe is great. I can't wait to buy this shoe, but I'm not going to buy this color. This shit is ugly. And look, it's like they still got my size, 14, 12, and these is 180. These is hitting 180. And it's like, what are you going to wear this with? What matches this? Let your jean cover most of this ugly shit. I mean, this colorway the shoe itself is sweet, but the color is fucked up. I mean, this don't match a lot. I mean, again, when you're wearing pants or sweats, these motherfuckers going to be showing. So the shoe itself is sweet, but the colorway is ugly as fuck. That's all I got to say. I will buy a pair, but not that color. Not that color. I'm a tennis shoe junkie, you know that. Clothes junkie, tennis shoes. It's like I got so many damn clothes, I don't even know what to do with these motherfuckers. Oh, okay. Shit. Okay. I might make some bread off that. Yeah, definitely might make a little bread off that. That was something good to see. Oh, I'm at 3 hours. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good. What time is it? Okay, it's 3. Good. I started around 12 or so. All right, I just want to go in and out of. We are in the full moon energy, so I'm feeling that a little bit. I'm feeling that full moon glow. They're made from the last design. White. Okay, I read that last one. Okay, so I feel good. I got a little energy. I ain't really chopped it in 3-4 hours in a while. It's and it's like I dig cats that just have one thing on their mind. It's like I don't just have one thing on my mind. I try to share a multitude of things, because that's what life is. Life is complex enough where we deal with a multiple things. I'm tongue tied and shit. And so that's what being mature and growing up is. It's like my son. It's like we thought he was mature, but he doesn't realize like the simplest little mistake can, really have life lasting consequences, And so, we was thinking about you this way, but you showed us you was completely this way. It's like, but that's what life is. And it's like you have to be consistently a certain way, really. Your behavior should be consistent. However it is, it should be consistent. If you're a crook, be a consistent crook. No, I'm just talking shit. But really, consistent behavior is what gets along in society. It's like I'm about to get with the family, my wife's family, and my mother's going. I don't know if any of my children are going. Maybe my youngest son might roll with us. And then we got Thanksgiving coming up, and all of them is basically Democrats. So, I know they all sitting there going to be like, how did he do it? And I talk cash shit on Facebook. From the day they picked Harris, I had nothing good to say about that chick. And that's feeding the beast. But again, she works with the beast. She is a beast. Not saying Trump ain't too, but she definitely was one, And so, it's going to be interesting hearing all the different opinions, hearing all this lip and the different opinions. But I'm a great debater. I look forward to it. And I talk cash shit, So I look forward to it. My mother and I go back and forth all the time, My wife is like, well, show me the facts. Show me where you got that from. You ready to record that dinner? You need to record it. Yeah, I just might have to. That would probably, yeah, I just might. Because I know I don't know, like, we're eating at a restaurant coming up. Well, a lot of the motherfuckers are going to be there tomorrow, too. So, because we'll see how many going to be watching the fight. But, like, the fight is on Netflix, so, I mean, we just going out there to go out there. But, I mean, we got the shit, too. And that's Friday. But it's like the movie comes out tomorrow night, but the Eagles play the Commanders tomorrow night. So I'm kind of torn if I want to go to this movie or watch the Eagles. And I really want to just watch the Eagles and drink beer. Sip on my THC drink and watch the game. I'm loving it so far. Well, thank you. That is so nice of you to say. I appreciate it. This week I got in the Fred Hampton speeches, and very powerful young brother. People don't realize how young that brother was when he got killed. I think he was only 24 years old when the FBI killed him. Like, we look at all our heroes that we really was proven that who killed him. I mean, that Fred Hampton's assassination was proven that it was done by the state police out of Illinois and the FBI combined to kill that man. And that is a fact. Under the orders of J. Edgar Hoover, who said, we're trying not to have a live black messiah. Oh, and this is what I can get into. I can get into this. So, one thing we don't really think of when we think of how things was during Reconstruction and the good and the bad of Reconstruction. So when we look at the good thing about Reconstruction is we were allowed in a period to have our own cities, yet we still had fair trade with the government, fair trade with others. You see all the inventions that came out, during the Reconstruction period and up to, the 1920s, 1930s. And the other good thing about Reconstruction was education. I mean, there was an emphasis, which Booker T. Washington pushed, is like one way we can succeed is we can get our education, working with them or not with them. We can get our education and be segregated. Now, right now, the most educated women on this continent is sisters. And this is probably 10, 20 years in a row. Sisters are the most educated people on this planet, but yet they don't operate anything. But yet they're the most educated. Hell, they were the easiest fooled. Sisters were the easiest fooled by all this. They just blindly threw their support in the thing. But we had towns, again, that was thriving. 2-3 towns in a row that were thriving that eventually got attacked and erased off the planet. Everything stolen. I mean, which a lot of that's what they did to the Pilgrims. I mean, like Thanksgiving, you melanated, you really shouldn't celebrate it other than celebrating your family, because what you're celebrating is really genocide. Because the real Thanksgivings, one time they invited the natives to come in, or the American Indian, the East Coast Indians to come in, and then poisoned them all. Poisoned them and killed them, and then took their property, and that's what they celebrated. Another time, the men were going hunting. They went in there and wiped all the women and children out, and then celebrated after doing that, after taking their land. So this is nothing for us. This is nothing for melanated people. It's a celebration of genocide, almost like all their celebrations is their victory, the European victory over the melanated people that was here, the tribes that was here. That's what almost all their celebrations is something that celebrates Europeans. But anyway, I didn't really want to get into that. What I wanted to get into is one reason that what King missed when King started pushing integration, and what we didn't understand too is, again, these people are probably a little advanced. Their fortune telling is probably more advanced too. And what really was going to happen is, if America would have been allowed to stay segregated, melanated people would have surpassed Europeans in almost every way. Financially, the Rothschilds and all them people wouldn't have had financial control over our money, because we'd have kept our money in our neighborhoods. The other part is the technology that we designed, from the light bulb, self-lubricating train, turn signal in a car, stop sign, gas mask. Think of cell phone. Think of if we would have stayed segregated and we controlled our own technologies and kept technologies with the American Indians, with the East Coast people, and all Indians, even the slaves that came over. And we would have just kept that technology within our neighborhoods, within our society. We would have surpassed them. And this is their worst fear, is being surpassed by us. And so again, that's why the repression. That's why the forced integration. See, we thought, I heard King say that he integrated us into a burning building. I mean, look at how soon they integrated the armed forces. That was integrated first, was the armed forces. Because they wanted us fighting power. And they wanted us getting killed right along with them. But this is the biggest thing, because they can see the future, or parts of it. They knew that if they let us keep our cities and let us play by their rules, we'd have kept our technologies to benefit us. Because imagine these cities you live in, if the city was segregated and all the melanated people lived in one area, and all the melanated people, the technology that they invented, they benefited from first. From music to sports, everything was kept first in our community before we pushed it out and made them pay for it. Do you follow me? Everything, music, sports, entertainment that we do, we should be in control of all of it. Instead, we've made another group of people rich. And, they do what they do. Destroy, take over land, break up those segregated cities, make sure we share our technology with them. Now, I've talked many, many times, and I just caught on. Like I've said before, I'm able to hit a dimension, or whatever you want to call it, a timeline, where it is like that John Travolta movie where it flipped, where it's a movie where John Travolta's in, where brothers and sisters are in charge. And brothers and sisters, they got them acting like Europeans, where in the reality I tapped into, it ain't nothing like that. We don't deal with them at all. Not to work with us, not nothing. It's like when we leave, the reality I went into, when you deal with the Europeans, you almost go into another country. That is how organized America became. It was like you completely went into another country because you did not deal with them. People, unless we were doing trade, then people didn't bother us. We didn't bother them. And it was almost like the country was separate, but we just had larger parts. I say that's the only difference, is we had larger parts than they had. We had more of our land than what they had. But they stayed on their part of America. We stayed on our part of America. Never mixed. And so all the technology, when they wanted it, they bought it from us, from our factories. Not where they benefited, our people benefited that worked and put these things together. I mean, the way shoes is being built. Nasper, I think he was African in something, but again, all this would have stayed in our community. But it's like I said, it's literally like when you left the community, it was almost like a foreign country. Because all we did is trade it. We had no other communication with them people other than through trade. You didn't have us trying to marry them. You didn't have them trying to marry us. Everything was totally separate. Everything you did in society, because we had our own states, we didn't lose them. We kept control of the states, our own states. And the states they had, they controlled those. We controlled our own. And it was basically two separate countries. And that's how we treated America, like separate countries. Chris Mathers, Booker T. Washington, we needed to establish our own infrastructure. Thank you for joining, Chris Matthews. Oh, ain't got it on.
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul.
Thank you for joining. Yeah, and it's funny, I was telling one of my cousins that there was a picture of my great-great-grandfather who was an educator. My great-great, let me see, it'd be my great-grandfather's father, so it'd be great-great-grandfather. So my great-grandfather's father-in-law, my great-grandmother's father, he was a school teacher, and he, for an order, because my great-grandfather was 30 and she was 15. So to agree to marry her, he had to give her family 100 acres. And they took that 100 acres and built a school. It was a Macon school down there in Macon, Mississippi. It's been closed, but and there was a picture of Booker T. Washington and my I think he'd be my great-great-grandfather. Yeah. My great-grandmother's father. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's the one thing, like if you get into what was really done during Reconstruction is education. I mean, even, before forced integration education, we were basically, even though it was separate but equal, we were still getting an education. Even though separate but equal, we were still getting an education. And we still were able to get trades and go to college, learn skills. And that, that was successful. If we look at like what was successful before integration, you could say education was successful. That was the only thing that really still benefited us after the Civil War, because what we went through Jim Crow. Through Jim Crow, through Jim Crow is really like the hardest period, because it did the opposite. It criminalized our freedom. If you look at what happened during Jim Crow, it criminalized our freedom. I mean, we don't even know how many people died. Because like when people back then that worked in the coal mines, they were going to die. They were going to get that lung disease. And so they were literally just, they'll kill this 100, bury them, bring in a new 100. Because you couldn't do that work without respirator, fans. And if you just naturally did that work, it killed you. And so we don't know, And like when when you fail, you look at how cruel some of it was. They would take you in the middle of nowhere and make you try to chop for turpentine. You're bleeding turpentine in the middle of nowhere with wild dogs, and you too far. You'd be 40, 50 miles inland in the middle of the woods. And they just work you to death or let the dogs, if you try to escape, the dogs will kill you. I mean, that was worse than slavery, was Reconstruction. And my wife and I argue, and she's like, no, nothing was worse. Yeah, it was. It was worse. And so, my main point was that was the thing they feared. If they let us stay, that we would have grown too powerful for them to control. That's the main part of why they wanted integration. Because if integration wouldn't have happened and they'd have left us alone, we would have surpassed them. And is it me against them or us against them? It really is. We're reminded of that all the time. No matter your complexion, you live the culture, you see what you're faced with. And that, and it's like that was my problem with Harris is, again, like Harris is no different than that lady. Remember the lady from the NAACP that was passing for being melanated? Rachel Dalston, something like that. Remember her? Rachel something. Remember how people, she was the NCAA president. She was passing as, a melanated person. And that's what Harris was. Harris was no different than that lady. She was the same as that lady. No different. The same as that lady. Someone trying to pass for something she wasn't. And I think that's what a lot of people had a problem with. Just be who you are. Because she did the same thing when she's running for vice president. She in black churches and stuff, changing her rap when she's around black folks, trying to dance and shit, talking about soul food. But then she's with her hand on that book and she says, I'm the first Asian president. And black people gave her that. That's what she did. She put her hand and was like, hey, I'm the first Asian president, Asian Indian president. She wasn't a nigga no more. But as soon as she tries to run again, and she only had 70 days, that's another thing. She only had 70 days. And that's, to me, they was trying to make her fail. She wasn't meant to win. Because there was no way she had enough time. Rachel, what is it? Yeah. Rachel Dolezal. Yeah, Rachel Dolezal. What was the difference between Harris and Rachel Dolezal? There's no difference. It's the same person trying to be something they're not. Now, if the chick would have came, the whole time, the Rachel chick would have just said, I'm involved in the culture. I think that's a lot more acceptable for people to say, okay, you just part of the culture, cool. But don't try to be, it's like those 4 years with Biden, she wasn't part of the culture. Then all of a sudden she's all popped up into the culture, And as I said before, it looked just like when I saw Hillary with Beyonce, that was the first time I knew she could lose. Up to that point, I didn't think Hillary was going to lose. But when I saw her like the day before or 2 days before the election, she had Jay-Z and Beyonce on stage. I'm like, ooh. And then when she had Beyonce on stage again, I was like, wait a minute, this looks like that time. So I knew she couldn't win then. So, as I was getting to the point is that was the real reason why they integrated. It was so they could keep us under control and they could benefit off our art, our sports, our inventions. That's why integration. So they control these things. And that's what integration was for. So they could still control it. And, you can put it in their factories and create wealth for their families instead of it being in our factories and for our families. Time and time again, you see the stealing of wealth. Bad contracts, anything they can put up to steal wealth. And that's why we live in the society we live in. That's the reason. That's the reason why they didn't leave us alone. You notice, like, they let the Chinese stay in there. They stay alone. They have Chinatowns where it's a place where you can go and it's just all them. There ain't nowhere that would be equivalent to Chinatown for brothers and sisters. Don't say Atlanta. Most men don't want to go to Atlanta. I mean, I'll go to the outskirts because my brother and my uncle live down there, but not inside the city. I try to stay away from inside the city there. That ain't no fun place for a single brother that like women. That ain't for you. It's a very zesty place. But, I love everybody, but it's a very zesty place. So, no disrespect to anybody. And so, what would he do now is we understand. That's the main thing is that you understand what this thing is and why this thing has done what it's done. And just if you are part of the struggle, non-melanated or not, if you're just part of the struggle, I'm trying to give you a little understanding of what we're all facing. Because it is a beast that runs everything. I mean, it's a beast, it's a technology, it's all that together. All that is against the common man. All that is working against you. But there's something you can always do about it. That's why, as you know yourself, you love yourself, and you pimp this reality. You really do. You turn this reality in. This reality works for you. And I don't know if that's free will, but it seems like that's allowed. Without being rich, without being athletically talented, it seems like you can pimp this reality. I ain't gonna say it's gonna be roses all the time, but it does seem like you can find your own way, and it'll let you pimp it. It's parameters. There's always parameters, but it does seem like this system likes to be pimped too. I'll say that. It's something about this system that likes to pimp it. Pimping been pimping since pimping, but it likes it. It likes to be pimped. So I don't even know where that comes from, but it does seem like the system works with you in that matter. Once it starts doing things for you, it seems like you can keep it to keep doing things for you. And I know with me, I've got a little bit of time control and stuff, so I do get that bonus, my spiritual awareness, capacity, whatever you want to call it. Well, I think that's all I got. I will come on Friday for the full moon. As I mentioned, time, hard to say. Count on midnight, but maybe earlier, because it depends on what time we get back from the fight. I think the fight is 7:30. Yeah, I think the fight is 7:30. Gotta go around the business areas in Atlanta. Exactly. Exactly. Yes, very zesty place. So, it's really cool to just connect with people whenever they watch it. It's like one thing that's reality about this is the less people that watch it, the less you're spread out. That is the benefit of not having large numbers of people watch it. It's like your message isn't as spread. It's like, if you take a piece of paper and just start stretching it, it's like that's what happens the more people that open up to you, is you're stretched that much as the amount of people that open up to you. And it makes the message stronger if only certain people hear it. because you never know like what you could say that touches the right person to get certain things going in motion. But that ain't going to be for me. It's going to be for that person. You know, because it's somebody out there that hears what I'm saying. I know, because that's just the way it works. And that you can apply what little bit I practice. Now, I'm perfectly imperfect. No doubt about that. But I just try to be more perfect, and not even more perfect. I try to be better. I think better is a better word than perfect. Perfect is a new spell word. What would you like to eat? I like some ribs. Perfect. Can't tell you how many times we hear that shit. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna cut it now. Good. Again, look for me Friday. I should be able to come out. I come out if you want to do the meditations. And what was that? Caught my eye. Where was it? Oh, that's on Oh, maybe they did show some colorways. Huh. Is that the same? No, those are Kobe's. Ah, look at this colorway of the bronze. Are they showing? Nope. Huh, I just found this. This is another colorway. Yeah, that's another colorway. This is the only angle they show of it. They show these Kobe's. Those are Kobe's. They say shoes are going to cost more in 25. These are going to be 180 Laker colors. Now, these are, I don't know how much those are going to be, but these are 182. These are 180. So I like this colorway a lot better. Pretty sure that's a LeBron. I don't think this is Giannis. Yeah, this says LeBron. So this is a new colorway. This is This is a 22. So, I like it. I like that better than that bullshit they got out now. That is some ugly shit. All right, y'all. Thank you for watching me. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the support. Thank you, Mac Bone, for the donation. I appreciate